It is a big day of news in Georgia. It's 2 o'clock on Thursday, February 19th. I'm Zach Merchant joining you from the 11Alive Plus streaming center, and we are tracking a lot, and we're going to be doing it right alongside of you. Right off the top, President Donald Trump is now making his way to Georgia. He arrived at Joint Base Andrews outside of Washington, D.C. about 30 minutes ago, preparing to board and then boarding Air Force One, headed to Georgia, where he will be making a stop in Rome, in northwest Georgia. That visit comes just a few weeks ahead of a special election to fill the now vacant congressional seat there that was vacated by now former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene when she resigned earlier this year. We'll bring you the president's live remarks when he delivers them and a live report from our Doug Richards, who is there awaiting the arrival of the president in moments. Doug Richards. The remarks will come a little bit later. We're also watching on how day 4 of the trial of Colin Gray, the father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter, now into its 4th day. Jurors continuing to hear witness testimony and evidence presented before them. We'll bring you a live look inside the courtroom, and we'll hear from our Grace King coming up shortly. And today, the now convicted murderer, Edric Fost, will be sentenced before a Clark County Superior Court judge. He was convicted on Tuesday of killing Tara Baker, the 23-year-old University of Georgia law student, all the way back in 2001. He was convicted of the murder this week. Today, in less than an hour, he will appear for sentencing. We're tracking all of that with you coming up in the next hour. But first, we're going to turn to our Melissa Nord, meteorologist Melissa Nord, joining us now on a really beautiful day, Melissa.
It's beautiful. It's near record heat, though.
Okay, well.
So there's your hook of the 4 count.
That's good.
We're leading your show.
I'm inclined to listen in now.
Yeah, it's so warm outside. It feels a lot more like April, May outside. It's not going to feel that way the whole week. As we get past the weekend into early next week, winter is coming back. But in the meantime, today, for the next couple of hours, it's not bad out there. We've got temperatures that are in the 70s right now. We've just skyrocketed up to 75 here at your 2 o'clock hour in Atlanta, 75 in Canton. These are more typical of temperatures we'd see later in the month of April. So, to warm weather fans, that's pretty nice. And we've got a couple more hours of warming to go, so we could get really close to this record from 1891. Record today is 78 degrees. 59 degrees is our average high this time of year.
Wow.
We're running.
We are way above that average, aren't we? Look at that.
By nearly 20 degrees. So that's a lot. Again, I'll say it, the groundhog, not so right. Always.
Old Beauregard and Punxsutawney Phil,
Yeah.
they're getting a little bit of heat in the streaming studio over here.
We give them a lot of advertisement the month of February.
Say what you want about them. The groundhogs, their brand. They are well-known commodities.
All right,
I think it's the hat. Anyway, moving on.
It's the crazy hats of the Pennsylvanians. Sorry, Zach.
Whoa.
All right, so we've got all the clouds over us right now. They're thinning out a bit. As we warm up these temperatures, a couple stray showers are developing. I'm seeing one of those little downpours in Fulton County, southeast of downtown Dallas right now. That'll move east and towards the West Loop and Marietta. And you notice to the north, that little red box, that's a tornado watch across southern Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky area, down through kind of the Bowling Green Parkway as well. There's a big level 3 risk area today for damaging winds, some hail possible, and that tornado threat as well. But the front causing severe weather today slips into North Georgia tomorrow, then it stalls over us. So we've actually got 2 days of a low-end severe weather chance. I don't think we're looking at the same setup they're seeing in the Midwest or the Corn Belt, what have you. But I do think we could see maybe a gusty wind of 50, 55 miles an hour. Saturday more than Friday, I think. You can see the outlooks for both days include level 1 threats of severe weather. So it's warm now. Rain chances are increasing, and we'll also see a couple thunderstorms in the mix with that as well. I showed you these warm temperatures now. Here's where we're headed the rest of the afternoon. Mid and upper 70s for those high temperatures. We're still close to records tomorrow. And then we're going to see the colder air spilling in behind this front as we get towards the end of the weekend. So for now, it's not too bad out there. We'll go with a couple spots close to 80 degrees, including Rome today. Tomorrow, 75 in Atlanta. Record for tomorrow is 78. So more of that warm weather, but do not plant the spring flowers yet. Look at the numbers falling back at the end of the weekend. 51 for Sunday, 47 for Monday. Those are our high temperatures. What about the lows? Well, we're seeing our lows right now above where we should be for highs this time of year. Notice they dropped down as well. So Monday, 30 degrees, outlying suburbs in the 20s, and then 20 is area-wide on Tuesday. So some hard freezes ahead once we get past this wonderfully warm weather outside this afternoon.
You know what? The little bit of cold on the back end is the price we pay for some nice warm days ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Just don't plant the flowers.
People
That's
don't.
good advice.
People don't complain about the warm, just when it turns cold again.
Yeah. Well, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. And all weather is good. We like it. Melissa Nord, thank you as always.
Sure.
We appreciate it. We'll see you in a little bit. We're going to turn now to Northwest Georgia, the city of Rome. You're looking at the podium right now where President Donald Trump will be delivering remarks coming up in the next couple hours. His schedule is a little bit delayed right now. We are hearing that the president is scheduled to be landing in Northwest Georgia now at about 3 o'clock. He is on his way here now. About 30 minutes ago, he arrived at JBA, Joint Base Andrews, and boarded Air Force One. He's on his way to our state, Northwest Georgia, city of Rome, for remarks that come just a few weeks before a big special election will take place there to replace now former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who resigned her seat in Congress at the beginning of this year. Our Doug Richards has been covering all of this as it has unfolded. He joins us now from the press risers inside the venue where the president will be delivering remarks coming up later this afternoon. Doug, what are you hearing on the ground right now?
Well, we are in a rather cramped space inside of a steel furnishing sort of fabricating plant, Coosa Steel, which has been operating in the Coosa Valley of Northwest Georgia for more than 50 years. And about 250, 300 people have come in on a Thursday to see President Trump this afternoon. In a place that is arguably, close to the center of the universe, at least at this moment, politically, due to the special election to replace Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose story, as we all know, is that she resigned after a falling out with President Trump. So Trump's making his first visit here since all that happened, and he should be here with a district attorney named Clayton Fuller, who he has said that he will endorse in the special election due to replace Congresswoman Greene. Before the Trump handlers chased us away from the crowd, we talked with a couple of people actually from the Cobb County part of Georgia's 14th district about what's going on here. Let's listen to them.
We're fans of the president and all obviously interested in what who the next congressman for the 14th district will be. So you agree with that?
Yes.
Are you, how much are you going to miss Congresswoman Greene?
We'll miss her.
She was very kind to us when we went to the inauguration.
Her staff was incredible.
And her staff was incredible, but she's chosen to move on, and we're excited about the next Congress.
How much does President Trump's endorsement matter?
We're certainly people that can make our own decisions. We love President Trump, and so what he has to say matters, but we're involved and very informed, so know who we would prefer.
So it's, in the great scheme of things, this is a modest crowd on a Thursday afternoon in a special election. But the folks who made it in here are folks who are fervent supporters of President Trump and fervently paying attention to this Georgia special election coming up. And so even though the majority of voters are, not going to be here today, the people who are here may be in a position to spread the word if they see and hear what they like today. So it really is a big day for Clayton Fuller, the man who President Trump wants to replace Congresswoman Greene, Zach.
And Doug, you and I, we've had conversations about this special election race a number of times now, and some folks who've been listening in may know this already, but I suspect some others may not. Can you just give a little bit more information about just how crowded a field this special election race is? Because it is a packed ballot of people trying to succeed Congresswoman Green?
Yes, it is a packed ballot, and 22 names were on the sample ballot that we saw in Fulton County a few days ago when early voting started. We understand 4 or so of them have dropped out. Some have officially made a noise about dropping out, and others have just quietly walked away. But most of them are folks that most of us have never heard of. One guy who's on the ballot is Colton Moore, who is a state senator who has made a lot of noise in the state Senate, who is also certainly in the true believer, sort of very righteous part of the right wing of the Republican Party. But then there are a lot of other folks who have been more grassroots, or have been at least as much as grassroots as Senator Moore and some of the the DA who is getting the endorsement of President Trump. And it's one of those grassroots campaigns really where you would be hard pressed to make a wager on who's going to get in, with the possible exception of the one Democrat who's well funded on that list of 20 or so people who's on the ballot, and that of course is a guy named Sean Harris. Zach.
We know you're going to stay on top of all this. We'll be checking in with you throughout the afternoon as we await the arrival of President Trump. Doug, thank you. And for those following along here, if you're wondering how much time is left before Election Day, March 10th is the date of this special election. And as Doug very aptly pointed out, it is a big field of candidates. Statistically, it is pretty likely that this race will go to a runoff. So not only will you have the special election, but then you'll have the special election runoff of the top 2 vote getters on March 10th. And the winner of that runoff will decide who goes to Congress to fill out the remainder of Congresswoman Green's term. So we'll be following all of that right alongside of you. We're going to turn now to another story that we have been following, not just all week, but for well over a year. This is the fallout of the Appalachia High School shooting that took the lives of 4 people and injured 9 others in September of 2024. Now, the father of the accused school shooter is standing trial. He has pleaded not guilty. His name is Colin Gray, and our Grace King has been inside of the courtroom where we are now on day 4 of his trial. Grace, the jurors have been listening to witnesses, hearing prosecutors enter different pieces of evidence into the record before them. What have the jurors been hearing specifically today?
Well, Zach, the whole case is based on the theory that Colin Gray, the dad, had sufficient warning that his son, Colt Gray, would use the firearm he had access to harm himself or others. So we spent the last couple of days establishing the actual crime that took place, the 2024 shooting at Appalachia High School. Today, we're starting to hear what warning signs may have been that jurors will have to determine whether they were sufficient or not. So we started off by hearing or watching body camera video rather from when deputies first showed up at Colin Gray's house the day of the shooting. He walked outside and he said, I hope my son didn't do something. And they were like, well, why would you say that? And he goes, he's been struggling at school. I just hope he wouldn't do something. Then we've gone into a bunch of his school administrators and we've heard all of them talk about the challenges Colt had at school. He attended 6 different districts in the years leading up to the Appalachia High School shooting. He kept changing schools. He skipped his 8th grade year entirely, it appears, from the enrollment records that were shared with us. So it just seems like he kept moving around. He had a lot of disciplinary struggles. He was suspended multiple times. I think it was 3 times in his first month or so at one middle school. Suspended another 4 days here or there. He was chronically absent. He missed 25 unexcused absences in a short period of time. And they said they just kept calling the parents, both Colin and the mom, Marcy Gray, who didn't have legal custody over Colt, but they kept calling the parents saying what's going on and just never got a hold of them. Sometimes their phone numbers were disconnected, their voicemails were full. And that's something we're hearing right now from DFCS too, that DFCS was trying to locate the family. They said every visit they made was always unannounced because they just couldn't get a hold of the parents.
And Grace, we know that there is a lot of evidence going before the jury here. We know that this case is expected to take a number of weeks before a verdict is rendered. This is the first time a Georgia jury has heard a case like this. The first time a Georgia prosecutor, legal experts tell us, has brought charges against the parent of an accused school shooter.
Right. Typically, you have to take an active role in the crime, whether it's, driving the getaway car or saying, here, take this gun, go shoot people. That would be more of an active role. Here, it's more of that negligence theory that he had all of these warnings and chose to do nothing with them. Of course, we're hearing all those warnings today. Jurors will have to decide, yes, this was sufficient warning. He should have taken the gun away. He should have secured it. Or no, it wasn't sufficient warning. One of those cases one of those examples rather that we've seen today, it stems from a Jackson County investigation in May 2023. You had Jackson County Sheriff's deputies showing up at the Gray household saying the FBI passed along these threats. We believe it might have been your son threatening to shoot up a school. And the deputies were not able to substantiate those claims. They closed the case and they said, I really hope you're not lying to us. We take this stuff very seriously. And they're like, no, we'll talk about it. We take this stuff seriously too. They completely closed that case. Now, prosecution is saying you had this warning. This is just, again, one of their many examples. They're saying you had this warning and did nothing to secure the guns, even though the deputies were suggesting that you did that. But the defense is pushing back saying, well, if the deputies couldn't substantiate it, why would the dad think it's credible? So it's just looking at a bunch of examples like that. Obviously, you're going to hear both sides as we continue on. But today's really the first day that we've mentioned Colin in a lot of this. Before, it was just establishing the crime.
Our Grace King outside of the Barrow County Superior Courthouse on day 4 of the trial of Colin Gray. Grace, thank you very much. We're going to go to a quick break right now. When we come back, our coverage of the trial of Colin Gray continues. That's up in just 2 minutes. We'll see you then. And our coverage of day 4 of the trial of Colin Gray continues right now. As you just heard from our Grace King, and as you have seen, if you've been watching along, right, it's alongside us as we've been following this trial gavel to gavel, this case touches a lot of different elements. One of them is firearms. Who has access to them? How are they stored? How does the Second Amendment have an interplay with what is going on inside of this courtroom? We're going to turn now to Georgia State University College of Law's Eric Siegel, a professor there. Professor, we appreciate you joining us right now. Let's start with this. I know you've been following along with this trial's developments as well. What has stood out to you so far?
Well, first of all, anytime we talk about this, we must remember how tragic this entire situation has been. for the people who died, the families, the community. It's just one more in a series of school shootings in our country that we should all be very sad about. This is the first time in Georgia ever that a parent has been tried to be held liable for the acts of a child in this kind of context. In the United States in general, only Michigan. There's one Michigan case. Other than that, no one has really ever been convicted before of this kind of crime. Let me say at the outset that the Second Amendment, whatever one thinks about that, however you view that, whatever lens you view that through, has absolutely nothing to do with this case, because there is no reasonable argument that a 14-year-old has a Second Amendment right to this kind of gun, or a parent has a Second Amendment right to give their child this kind of gun. Now, it is legal in Georgia. In fact, it is legal in most places for teenagers to possess these kinds of guns. In Georgia, teenagers can't really possess handguns except under some very limited circumstances. It was legal for the son to have the gun in the room. But that doesn't mean he has a right to the gun in the room. So the Second Amendment really doesn't apply here at all.
Professor, help us tease that out. You say it was legal, but he didn't have a right to do that. Parse that out for somebody who maybe isn't a legal scholar like yourself.
Sure. Sorry. What I'm saying is, it turns out that in Georgia, there is no age requirement for people to possess, assault weapons and those kinds of long guns. Handguns are a different story, but this was, of course, involved, an assault weapon. So he was allowed to have it, but that doesn't mean that the parents didn't commit negligence the father didn't commit criminal negligence. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but by allowing the child to have it. I just want to be clear, what the Second Amendment protects is the right of people to own guns. Teenagers don't have a Second Amendment right to own assault rifles. The fact that it's legal is different than you have a right to do it. There are a lot of things that are legal today that the state could make illegal tomorrow. For example, Georgia could decide tomorrow, consistent with the Second Amendment, no one under the age of 18 can possess this kind of gun. That could be a law. It just isn't.
Professor, let's talk a little bit about the legal theory behind the prosecution's decision to charge Colin Gray in this case. As you pointed out, it's never before been done in Georgia. It's only likely been done once elsewhere in the nation. Why is it that it is so rare to see a prosecutor press charges against a parent of an accused school shooter?
Because these cases are very hard to prove, and you have to have, I think, none of us want to hold parents responsible for the acts of a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old, absent compelling evidence that they should have done something different. But I think there is, in this case, reasonable arguments that there is compelling evidence that this father should have done something different. Let me give you an analogy. I'm not playing law professor here, but I think this makes it easier to understand. If a parent gave an 11 or 12 or even a 14-year-old probably the keys to the car, and the kid had never driven in his life, and said, hey, go take a spin on 285, and then the kid injures somebody, negligently while driving, wouldn't we all have a very serious problem with the parent handing the child the keys? Well, in this case, I think we would. Now, whether that's criminally liable or not, we can debate. If it was an 8-year-old, we would all say the parent should be criminally liable. And frankly, if the son here was 8 years old, I think we would all agree also that the parent should be held criminally liable. 14 is a much different situation. But there is, as your reporter recognized a few minutes ago, so much evidence, Zach, that a reasonable person, or I should say a reasonable jury, I think, could probably find that the father could have reasonably foreseen something terrible happening if his, very dysfunctional and obviously somewhat mentally ill son was in possession of this kind of weapon. I believe there was a text message a few weeks before this from the son to the father saying, if something bad happens, blood is on your hands. Well, if I'm a parent and I get that text message, I would like to think the first thing I would do is take guns out of my 14-year-old's room.
And Professor, as you well know, the state always goes first in a case like this. We have been listening to the prosecution present its arguments before the jury. You have laid out your views of what's been presented before the jury so far. But like any good law professor used to ask me, I will now ask you the same question. If you were on the other side of the table and you were a defense attorney in this case, what arguments would you be bringing up to defend your client? And what arguments do you expect the defense in this specific case to raise in defense of Colin Gray?
You'd be a good lawyer. I think the overwhelming idea of the defense is going to have to be kind of a slippery slope argument, which we usually see in First Amendment cases. What I mean by that is, if we hold this parent liable for this, then what's the next parent going to be held liable for, where the evidence and facts might not be quite as compelling as this case? And then the lawyer trick, or the law professor trick, is, how much is too much? How much liability is too much? And is this slippery slope more dangerous than the benefits that society would get, and that would be just to the victims and the families, of holding this father liable? You're right that we've only so far heard the prosecution's case, but there is a lot of, there are facts in this case we already know that the defense is not going to deny. The defense is not going to deny that there was a shrine in this person's room, to another mass shooter. So the argument I'd be making is, this is a terrible, terrible tragedy, and none of us, want to be here today. And we should all feel sorry for the victims, their families, and the community, frankly, our country. But to hold this person liable under these facts is not fair to him, and will set in motion machinery that all parents now will have to take, measures that are not necessarily so obvious and so reasonable, or they'll be held guilty of second-degree murder or manslaughter. Now, that's the argument I would make. Whether the facts in this case support that, we have to wait and see. Whatever one's views on guns, and Georgia, of course, is a proud defender and supporter of the Second Amendment and all of that. Whatever your views on guns are, there were a lot of warning signs in this case, and I think this case is exactly where it belongs, in a jury of this person's peers. Let me make one more point about that. Whatever happens at the trial, this case is going to be far from over, because there are complicated legal issues involving how the jury is charged, involving how Georgia statutes work, involving how you prove crimes of second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter, that the appellate courts are definitely going to wrestle with if the father is found guilty. Of course, if the father is found innocent, then none of those issues will come up.
Professor, we are short on time here, but I do want to make sure I ask you this one last question, and you have alluded to it, the appellate process. Given that this is a case of first impression here in Georgia, how likely is it that this case will, even after verdict, if there is a conviction, continue to work its way through the appellate process? And if you think that is likely, which many others have said yes, how long could it take before it is all finally and fully resolved?
It would take a long time, because I think these issues are very, very difficult as a matter of law. And my prediction would be that if he is found guilty by the jury, we will not know his ultimate fate for a very long time. And I suspect the Georgia Supreme Court will wrestle very, very hard with a lot of the legal issues in this case.
Professor Eric Siegel, Georgia State University College of Law. Very grateful for your perspective here. We're going to be following this case along to the very finish, and you are very right, because it's going to be up to a jury in Barrow County to determine the outcome of this trial. Professor, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we're going to go now. You're looking live on your screen inside of that Barrow County Superior Courtroom as Day 4 of the trial of Colin Gray has just resumed after a recess. Court is back in session. Let's listen in.
To help her work her case plan, the perpetrator was the mom, so we were focused more on mom and helping her work her case plan through therapy, making sure the kids are taken care of, and things like that.
Okay, and what two kids were down there in Ben Hill County?
Jenny and Coley.
Okay, and what child was still up in Jackson County?
Colt.
Okay, and who was watching Colt?
I'm his father.
Who defects-wise was watching Colt?
Jackson DFCS.
Okay. So it was a different caseworker?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Michaela Anderson?
I didn't know her, but we had conversation over email and
Okay.
things like that. So yes.
Okay. And she was the one following Colt?
Yes.
Okay. As part of your job with DFCS, do you keep a log of all the contacts you have with people?
That's correct.
Okay. And is it made at the time of the contact?
Yes.
And is it kept in the ordinary course of your business with DFCS?
Correct.
And is it used to refresh your memory years later?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point, did Colt also come down to Ben Hill?
He did.
Do you remember about when that was?
It was during the summer.
During the summer?
Yes.
Okay. I want to take your attention to specifically September 29th of 2023. Did you meet with Marcy on that day?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a copy of your contact log with you?
I do not.
Okay. I'm going to show you this. Is that a copy of your log?
It is.
Okay. So on the 29th, where did you meet with Marcy?
At the DFCS office.
Okay. And what was the purpose of meeting with her?
To talk about her case closing, we were wrapping up the case and have her to continue with therapy for the children.
Had therapy been scheduled for Colt?
She said yes, and it was at the Healing Connection. I want to say in Tifton, I believe.
Okay. And when was it scheduled for?
For that next Thursday.
The next Thursday, okay.
Mhm.
And when was the next time you met with Marcy?
Let's see. That will be in October.
Okay, and what date?
That'll be the 5th.
All right. And where was this meeting at?
This was at Marcy's residence.
Okay. And was Colt still living at Marcy's residence on October 5th?
No,
Where was he?
he had moved back with his father.
Okay. And was that before the Thursday he was supposed to have therapy?
I'm not quite sure because I don't have a calendar, and so I'm not sure.
Okay. So, take your attention to October 13th of 2023.
Okay,
Did you have a phone call with Colin Gray?
I did.
Is that reflected in your contact narrative log? Would it be in your contact
Yes,
narrative
it would
log?
be.
I'm going to show you State Exhibit 202.1 and ask you to recognize that.
Yes.
And what is that?
This is a contact narrative log of my conversation I had with Mr. Colin Gray.
On what day?
I'm sorry, October 13th.
Okay. And does that accurately reflect your conversation with Mr. Gray that day?
Yes.
All right, this time I tender State Exhibit number 202.1 into evidence.
No objection. All right. 2.1.
So this conversation you had with, was this face-to-face, phone call, email, text message? What was it?
A phone call.
Phone call. And what was the purpose of this phone call?
We wanted him to come and pick up Jenny and Coley from their mom's house.
And why was that?
Because mom at the time, she had tested positive and we had just got her drug screening back and it was unsafe for the kid to continue to stay in her care.
Okay. Just a week before you were talking to her about closing her case.
Correct.
Okay. And then she tests positive?
Yes, we did a last drug screen just to make sure that she was still clean. And then when we got the results back, that's when it came back positive.
Okay. And so did y'all decide at that point to remove the children from her?
Yes,
Okay. And did Mr. Colin Gray agree to come down and get the kids?
that's correct.
Okay, thank you. And so the next day would have been the 14th?
Correct.
Okay. And I assume you had contact with him again on that day?
Yes, sir.
Yes. It shows marks 202.2. Actually, if you can recognize that.
I do.
Okay, and what is that?
This is my contact with the family the next day on October the 14th.
Okay. And does it actually reflect your conversations with Colin Gray and around Colin Gray?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this time, that's interstate exhibit number 202.2 in evidence.
No objection. All right, 202.2 is admitted.
Okay. So what's happening on this day?
This day, Mr. Gray and Colt had came down, and we had met at Marcy's parents' house, Miss Gray's parents' house, where Marcy and the two younger children were at.
Were the parents there? Marcy's parents, were they present?
Not that I saw, so no.
Okay.
I didn't see them if they were.
So it's just Marcy, Colin, and the three kids?
Correct.
Okay. And what was going on this day?
On that day, we told Marcy about her drug screen and how we are going to have Mr. Gray take the kids with him back to his home.
Okay. Was there what's called a safety plan put in place?
There was.
And what's a safety plan?
A safety plan is where a piece of paper that is written up to minimize a safety risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, they agree that the children will go back with Mr. Gray, and mom will be supervisor around the children. And then Mr. Gray will determine what kind of supervision that she will have if there was any.
Okay, so she can't have contact on her own.
Correct.
It'd have to be through Mr. Gray.
Correct.
And he decides.
Correct.
Okay. Did you have a specific private? First of all, how did Marcy take this?
She was upset about it.
Okay. Did you have a private conversation with Colin?
I did.
Okay. And what was the purpose of that conversation?
Well, per DFCS policy, all children, when we interview them, will have to be in private. And since this is my first time seeing him since he left, I would have to have a conversation with him in private to see how things were going with his dad.
No, not Colt, Colin.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
My bad.
I might not have been clear.
To talk to him if he had any questions, any concerns, anything that I can answer, and to talk to him about moving forward with the kids in his home.
Okay. Did you talk to him at all about the kids and their schooling?
Yes.
And what did you tell him?
To get the kids in school and, let's see. I knew that Colt and Jenny wanted to go homeschooling, but just to make sure that they get the education and get in school as soon as possible, as soon as they get up there.
Okay. And did you talk to him about any sort of therapy or counseling for the children?
Yes.
And what did you tell him?
That the kids need to go to therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and that as soon as he can, and that he has said that it would be good for them to go to therapy.
Okay. Did he say to you whether or not he would put the kids in therapy?
I'm sorry?
Did he say whether or not he would agree to that, putting kids in therapy?
Yes.
What did he say?
That the whole family will be going to therapy.
Okay. So that was on the 14th?
Correct.
Okay. Did you follow up with a phone call on October 18th?
Yes.
Mr. Gray. And now at this point, you're back up here in Bear County?
Yes.
And we're jumping in here just for a moment. If you've been watching along, up in the right-hand side of your screen, Air Force One has just touched down in northwest Georgia at the airport in the city of Rome. You're looking at it live right now. That is Air Force One. Moments ago, literally seconds ago, touching down here in Georgia, in the city of Rome, ahead of President Donald Trump's scheduled remarks a little bit later this afternoon inside of a steel factory in Rome. He's also scheduled to make a stop at another local business and sit for an interview, give remarks on a podcast. We don't know which one that's going to be. We will be listening in. You're looking again live right now. Air Force One just in the far background of this camera shot now. Air Force One on the ground in northwest Georgia. We're going to continue to monitor this as we do, let's turn now back, if we can. Let's turn now back inside the Barrow County Superior Courtroom, where day 4 of the Colin Gray trial continues. You're looking at some evidence up on the screen. Now it is gone, and you're looking at a woman on the stand right now who is Tamika Mitchum, and she works for DFCS. She's a Ben Hill case manager, and she is answering the prosecutor's questions about her interactions as a member of the Department of Family and Children's Services with the Gray family. Let's listen in.
And to assist the home, to check on the kids, to talk to the kids about school, about therapy, and then we'll close our case afterwards.
Okay. And did you ask them to do this on the 19th, the day after that phone call?
Yes.
Okay. And did someone from Barrow County DFCS go out to the home and talk with Colin Gray?
Yes.
Okay. Did that person write a report?
They did.
Okay. And was that report sent to you?
Yes.
When did you receive that report?
On the 30th.
Okay. And when DFCS does a home check like that, a safety, would you call it a safety assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there like a checklist they're going down of topics they're supposed to be covering, looking for?
They are. Normally it's a walkthrough of the home, make sure there is no safety issues, things are put up, make sure that the other kids have beds, there's food in the home, things like that. There's no wiring, exposed wires, infestation, stuff like that in the home.
Do they also talk about education for the kids and counseling and therapy and other services for the kids?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about weapons. Do you ask about that sort of thing, weapons in the home?
We do.
Okay. And was that done in the safety plan that you got back from the person from Barrow County?
Yes.
And were all of those issues addressed?
Yes.
Okay. And based on that safety plan that you got back, what did you do with the case?
We closed the case.
Okay. And when did you close the case?
I want to say October 30th or 31st was the last day. I sent it to my supervisor to close when he shift.
Okay. And was it closed based on the information you received in that home assessment?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchum.
Good afternoon.
I've got a few questions. I know this is all quite a while in the past. So if you need to refresh your memory or look at anything, let me know and I'll see what I can do to help you with that, okay? All right. So when did you first become involved in this case personally?
January of 2023.
And so your total exposure was it sounds like almost a year, 10 months?
Correct.
Okay. And you were down in Ben Hill County?
Correct.
So the majority of your contact was with Marcy Gray?
Correct.
And I think you said that the case was against Marcy Gray.
Correct.
Now, to fast forward to October of 2023, you said that you had to call Mr. Colin Gray to come down to pick up the kids.
That's correct.
And that was due to a positive drug screen
Correct.
on Miss Marcy Gray.
Correct.
So at that point, you were taking the kids from her because it was no longer safe and giving them to the father.
Correct.
And the understanding he was going to take all of the kids, well, I guess at that point, Colt had already gone back to live with him. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So he was coming down to get the 2 younger kids.
That's correct.
And then all 3 kids would be living with him up in Barrow County.
Correct.
All right. And you said that at some point in October, you met with Marcy Gray and informed her that the kids would be staying with Dad.
Correct.
And she was not happy about that.
No.
And she made that known to you?
Yes.
Okay. However, based on the circumstances, you felt that that was in the best interest of the children.
That's correct.
And then you put a safety plan in place that basically allowed Mr. Gray to determine whether or not the kids would be allowed to see Marcy Gray.
Correct.
Whether it's supervised or unsupervised, that obligation would fall on him?
Correct.
Okay. Did you inform her that if she was unhappy with the access she had to the kids through Mr. Gray, that she would have to work that out with Mr. Gray?
Correct.
That wasn't going to be your job?
Correct.
Okay. Did she seem upset about that?
Yes.
I imagine she was. All right. And to go back to the meeting in September of 2023, I believe you indicated that, so September 29th, 2023, at that point, Colt Gray was in Ben Hill County with his mom?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you ask about schooling at that time to see if the kids were in school?
Yes.
And I assume the answer you got was from Marcy?
Yes.
Okay. Did it indicate if there was any homeschooling?
Yes.
Was that for all the kids or just some of the kids?
Just Colt.
Just Colt. Okay. You also testified that there was some therapy scheduled for shortly after September 29th, 2023.
Correct.
And that information came from Marcy?
Yes.
Was that something that you had scheduled for them?
No, Marcy was looking at her own therapy
Okay.
for her and the children.
Okay, gotcha. And when you recommended therapy for the kids, Coley Jr. and Jenny had been staying with their mom,
Correct.
and mom had tested positive
Yes.
for a controlled substance.
Yes.
And were you concerned that they might need therapy for what it was they were seeing while living with mom?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Can you redirect?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, we have just. So I'm just showing you calendars from back 2023 September. I think you would testify that you met with Marcy on the 29th, and she said that Colt was getting therapy the next Thursday. And then what would be the next Thursday?
The 5th.
October 5th?
Yes.
Okay, and was that the day you went out there and Colt wasn't there anymore?
That's correct.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're free to go.
Kareem Pierre Charles.
We're cutting in here just one more time again as you watch some people begin to disembark from Air Force One that is now on the tarmac at the airport in the area of Rome, Georgia, northwest Georgia. That's press and presumably some staff coming out of the rear exit of Air Force One. We're now taking this image full. The front exit here has been opened, and you see the seal of the president on the door. We're awaiting President Donald Trump and likely senior staff to exit the airplane from this door in short order. And he will be greeted on the tarmac by a number of prominent Georgia Republicans. We saw a few of them walking out onto the tarmac moments ago. On the ground, we know, are Clay Fuller, the district attorney in the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit. He has been endorsed by President Trump in this special election race to fill the 14th Congressional District. Also on the ground, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who is running for governor. Herschel Walker, a UGA football legend who ran for office himself here in Georgia. He is now the ambassador to the Bahamas, and a number of other prominent Georgia Republicans you can expect to see on the tarmac waiting to greet and welcome the president to northwest Georgia. We're going to continue to monitor this live camera feed from the tarmac at the Richard B. Russell Regional Airport in Floyd County. Let's go back now to inside of the Colin Gray trial as testimony continues, and we will continue to update you if and when we start to see some more movement on the tarmac here in northwest Georgia. Let's listen in to court for now.
A courtesy visit where a county will ask to do a home visit and ask questions, and then report back to the county that requested the home visit.
Okay. And did you do a home assessment?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Is that a routine thing for you to have done for your job duties back then?
Yes.
Okay. And is it something where you're generally doing a list of things for every single one, and then you add a few things if it's something specific?
Yes.
Okay. So there are certain categories you're always looking for?
Depending on the case, but we do ask questions.
And what general categories of things are you looking for?
You know, who lives in a home, find out if there's anything in the home, like any safety concerns in a home. We ask questions about the children, you know, like school, if they're on medication, safety assessments.
Okay. And what was the residence that you were asked to do this for?
The residence was at on Harrison Mill.
Ma'am?
You said the residence?
The residence. Do you remember the address?
Harrison Mill, I think it was 895 or 894 Harrison Mill.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you write up a report?
I did.
Okay. Is that normal part of your duties as DFACS to write up a report?
Yes, we have to do a document.
And did you write up that report contemporaneously to when the things are happening?
Yes.
Okay. And does it accurately reflect the things that have happened?
Yes.
Okay. And is that so that you can refresh your knowledge and learn about it for later, testifying a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you Smart State Exhibit number 139. And ask you can identify that.
Yes.
Okay. And what is that?
That is a documentation on the home visit.
Okay. And is that what you typed?
Yes.
Okay. Now, some of that's been blacked out. So has it been redacted that way?
Yes, it depends on if, guess what court.
No, we redacted it. I just wanted you to point that out. I'm not telling you.
Okay.
You did it. Can you tell in there what is redacted out?
A conversation with children.
Okay. Is what's left in there your conversation, what you saw in your conversation with Colin Gray?
Yes.
Okay. Other than blacking out your conversations with the children, is it a true and accurate copy of your assessment?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I tender State Exhibit number 139 to evidence. This is a redacted version.
No objection. All right, 139 submitted.
Okay. So, with your conversation, can we what's that? Sure. So, what date was this?
On the 30th.
Okay, of 2023?
Of 2023.
Okay, and that shows the address there, 894 Harrison Mill Road?
Yes.
Okay. Is that in Barrow County?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next section.
You see now President Donald Trump emerging from Air Force One, walking down the steps up in the upper right-hand side of your screen now. Now we take it full on your screen. President Donald Trump now on the ground and has now disembarked from Air Force One. He is greeting Kelly Loeffler, former senator, Herschel Walker, UGA football legend and former Senate candidate in 2022. Shaking hands with Gunnar Stockton now, UGA football quarterback. You see in the left-hand side of your screen there, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is next in the handshake line. These are all, except for Gunnar Stockton, Herschel Walker, Kelly Loeffler, and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, all prominent statewide Republicans, now shaking hands with Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who is a Republican. He's running for governor. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones himself played for the University of Georgia. 3 people in the center of your screen there, all 3 played for the University of Georgia. The president continuing to shake hands here in this receiving line. You see former State Senator Brandon Beach, who is now the Treasurer of the United States, overseeing the U.S. Mint. having a conversation with President Donald Trump right now on the tarmac outside of Air Force One. Now the president shaking hands with Clay Fuller, who is the district attorney in the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit, and he is the Trump-endorsed candidate in the race to succeed now former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in the upcoming special election, the Georgia 14th. You saw the president briefly wave to the press cameras there, enter the Beast, his presidential vehicle, and now this shot, as you can expect, is moving as the press is being escorted off of the tarmac there. We're changing our camera shot. You see another one here. The motorcade getting ready to leave the airport, and if the plan proceeds as it is scheduled today, now that they are on the ground in northwest Georgia, the president and his team are going to make their way to a local business. Then they are going to move on to a podcast interview. We don't know which podcast that's going to be, but we'll be following along. And then the president will arrive at sort of the main event, which is remarks at Coosa Steel Factory, as we look inside of the presidential limo here. The president and the Secret Service getting ready to make their way through their agenda. And just in the back of that vehicle, it's hard to tell for sure, but that looks like it's Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones in the back there, presumably talking with the president. Hard to say with 100% certainty through the tinted and bulletproof windows, which is, I mentioned just to remark that that vehicle has a number of security features for obvious reasons. The Secret Service taking the mission to keep the president safe wherever he travels. But that does make it a little difficult to see through the windows. It appears, though, that Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is in there with the president as the motorcade slowly begins to pick up speed and make its way off of the tarmac onto the roads and on with the agenda that will, if things remain on schedule, begin with a visit to a local business up in Floyd County in the northwest corner of our state. And there you go. You watch the full motorcade making its way out. You see all those extra vehicles there. That's a lot of Secret Service, first responders, safety officials. The press are going to be in some of those vans. Anywhere the president travels, a very large contingent of aides, staff, assistants, security personnel, and press all travel along with them. Again, if you're just joining us, President Donald Trump on the ground in northwest Georgia. You're looking at a shot of Air Force One that landed at the Richard B. Russell Regional Airport a short time ago. The president has now disembarked from the plane. He is in the motorcade and on his way to his stops in Floyd County that will culminate with remarks at a local factory, Coosa Steel, a little bit later this afternoon. He'll take the podium and deliver his remarks there. This appears to be the end of the motorcade. You're looking at a Georgia State Patrol trooper with lights on. Appears to be the final vehicle in this motorcade that is leaving the tarmac. So there we go. President is on the ground and getting ready to make his way through his scheduled events in northwest Georgia. We're going to bring all of them to you live that are open to the press. And I say that with the caveat that, as I mentioned earlier, he is scheduled to appear on a taping of a podcast today. That we may not be able to look into. That may be closed to press. So we're going to see where that and how that plays out. But we're going to be following every event. And actually, let's listen in. Yeah, our producer now is alerting me. We have remarks from President Donald Trump shortly after he disembarked from the airplane. Looks like in Air Force One right now. Let's listen.
It's war. When it comes to war, you don't talk about your strategy. She could have done that very easily. She had no idea. I don't think she knew what Taiwan was. That was the problem. You don't talk about military strategy. You could have taken an easy pass on that one. That was not a good answer. Could be death-defying, because I suspect that'll be used in every campaign for the next 30 years against her. That was not a good one, Peter. What do you think?
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. So I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
You said today on Iran, bad things will happen if
Yeah,
Iran
bad things.
doesn't make
Really
the
bad
deal.
things.
What will that
I'm not going to talk to you about that.
Okay, can you just let me know, what is the goal if there is a U.S. military
Well, we're
strike?
going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear
I'm not
program?
going to talk to you about that, but we're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
And you said today 10 days. Have you given them a deadline firm to make a deal?
I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
Mr. President, when you have the Board of Peace, obviously there's a lot of countries that you're trying to get on. What countries would you like to see join the Board of Peace the most?
Well, we have a lot that are on, and we have a lot that are going through the process of getting on. They have to get legislative approval, etc. And we've had billions of dollars put up already by the countries that are on. You saw some of the big players today. It's been very successful. Everyone's going to want to be on. Everyone wants to be on. Some have to go back to their legislatures to get approval.
Would you want like China or Russia, any of those guys?
I would love to have China and Russia. They've been invited. Yeah.
Something that got a lot of
You need both. You need all persuasions. No discrimination.
something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to,
Well,
so if you
maybe I'll
want to
get him
make
out
an
of trouble.
announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals. What else?
We were just listening in together to remarks from President Donald Trump to the White House press pool on their way to Georgia. That press gaggle took place on Air Force One while it was en route in the air. The note on the last question of President Trump's answer there, former President Barack Obama has clarified that he said he has seen, quote, no evidence of aliens following his remarks on that podcast that the president was referencing there. President Trump will be delivering more remarks today, throughout the day. He is now on the ground here in Georgia, and he will be delivering a speech at some point, likely in the next hour to 2 hours, at a local factory. And hang on, guys. All right, our producers are indicating something here. Right now, where are we going, guys?
Let's go to the Edric Fost.
Okay. We're going to turn now to Clark County Superior Court, where the sentencing of Edric Fost is underway. So we're awaiting here the sentencing of Edric Fost. You're looking at a live picture inside of a Clark County Superior Courtroom. Earlier this week, on Tuesday, Fost was convicted by the jury in this case of the murder of Tara Baker. It was a 23-year-old first-year University of Georgia law student found dead in 2001. The case had gone cold for a number of years. Prosecutors then brought charges, and this week a jury convicted Fost of murder and a number of other counts. Today, he will be sentenced for those crimes. This is a live picture inside of the courtroom. Are we able to listen in? Okay, let's listen in.
In the audience, I want to take care of a few preliminary matters before we get started. The first is that no one in the audience, with the exception of media who have been granted a Rule 22 permission, can have their cell phones out and can have their cell phones out. So the first thing I want everybody to make sure is that if you have a cell phone and you are not the media who has been granted access, to put your cell phone away, please. And also, while you're doing that, to make sure that it is in the off position. I would appreciate everybody's cooperation on that. If there is anybody, of course, and I've mentioned this before during the course of all of our proceedings, if anyone does violate that portion of this court's order, having their cell phone out and certainly even using it, you will be escorted from the courtroom by the deputy and not allowed to return. The second thing I want to remind everyone, as I reminded everyone the other day who was here, is that this is a court of law, and certainly the court expects everyone to act accordingly. There will be no disruptions whatsoever, no outbursts of any kind, no yelling, no screaming, and no disruptions like that. If that does happen, I will stop the proceedings. The Sheriff's Department will escort that person or persons out of the courtroom. Everybody certainly was in full compliance the other day when the verdict was read, when I gave this same instruction. And I certainly appreciate everyone's abiding by that order very much, and I'd ask you certainly to do the same today. Is the state ready to proceed?
State's ready, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cruz, is the defense ready?
I have no other choice, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Fost, I'm going to address you now, sir. I want to tell you that, as you know, you have been convicted of all 12 charges as listed in the indictment by the jury returning the verdict. I want to tell you that you have the right to pursue an appeal. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you for an appeal. I want to make sure you understand that filing an appeal has time limitations. You have 30 days from the date of sentencing, which will be today, to file a notice of appeal. Filing a motion for new trial also falls under that category of 30 days after the conviction sentence is entered. You also have 4 years if you choose to file a habeas corpus petition. If you cannot afford an attorney to represent you, the court will appoint an attorney for you. I certainly know that you will speak with Mr. Cruz today and other days about your rights of appeal, but I wanted to make sure you understood them. Do you have any questions for the court about those things? Thank you, sir. All right, if the state is ready to proceed, you may do so, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, what the state would intend to do as it relates to our presentation of evidence concerned with sentencing is to begin by discussing the ranges and the counts on which Mr. Fost is to be sentenced from the state's understanding. At that point, Your Honor, I would tender in certain certified convictions in aggravation of punishment. Mr. Cruz has been provided copies of those. We would then offer 4 victim impact statements, Judge, from Miss Virginia Baker, Mr. Adam Baker, Miss Meredith Schroeder, and Mr. Kevin Baker. And after the victim impact statements, the state would make its recommendation to the court. As it relates to count 1, malice murder, the sentence is mandated by law as of January 19th of 2001 would be a sentence of life imprisonment. Counts 2 through 5, the felony murder counts, as a matter of law, since Mr. Fost was found guilty of malice murder, would be vacated. Mr. Fost is thereafter still eligible to be sentenced for each of the felonies that underlied those felony murder counts. That would be the burglary, aggravated sodomy, 2 counts, and then the rape. As it relates to the sentencing range for burglary being count 6, that would be up to 20 years. Count 7, the aggravated sodomy as it existed on January 19th of 2001, the state's understanding of that is that that would be a serious violent felony subject to the provisions of 1710 6.1 at the time, which indicates that when an individual is convicted of a serious violent felony, if they are sentenced to anything other than a life sentence, they are not parole eligible for whatever that sentence is that is imposed by the court. And the range on aggravated sodomy at the time was 10 to 30 or life. As it relates to, and that would be the same for count 10, Your Honor. As it relates to count 8, the rape count, that would be 10 to 20 or life. As it relates to count 9, the aggravated assault, that would merge with count 1 for purposes of sentencing. We've already covered the range on count 10. Count 11 would be up to 20 years, and count 12, possession of a knife. Count 11 was the arson in the first degree. Count 12, the possession of knife during commission of a felony, would be 5 years, Your Honor. And Judge, would the court like us to continuing numbering exhibits from the exhibit number in the trial, or to start with 1 for purposes of sentencing?
That's a great question. I think we should continue with the numbers that we've been going on. Do you have the last number that was entered?
I do not.
Okay. Okay. We can do that. Sure. I think that sounds fine. Ms. Satterfield really is in charge of all of those numbers. That's important for her. So we'll start again with 1. She thinks that would be best. So go ahead and label whatever document you have as State's Exhibit 1, and then follow with any other exhibits you have in numerical order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
And Your Honor, I've labeled for purposes of sentencing States Exhibits 1 through 6. Exhibit 1 is certified conviction from criminal action number 93 OR 36B, which was a sentence entered on an attempted robbery charge with a sentencing date, original sentencing date of June 7th of 1993. This document was for a first offender sentence. It was later adjudicated guilty. In State's Exhibit 2 is 96 OR 165J.
Yes. I would object to the state attempting to use prior convictions in aggravation of sentencing. If my recollection doesn't fail me, we didn't receive notice that the state intended to use Mr. Fost's prior record for sentencing either the last day of trial or the day before the last day of trial. The state provided us with documentation stating that they intended to use Mr. Fost's record in aggravation of sentencing. As the Honorable Court is aware, under OCGA Section 17-16-4, Section A5, the law states that the prosecuting attorney shall no later than 10 days prior to trial or at such time as the court orders, but in no event later than the beginning of the trial, provide the defendant with notice of any evidence in aggravation of punishment that the state intends to introduce in sentencing. And that is a shall statute. The state failed, unless they could show something, because from what they gave me 2 days ago, 2 days before the end of trial or the last day of trial, that was my first time seeing those documents. But the state hasn't met the notice requirement to introduce evidence in aggravation of sentencing under that statute, Your Honor. So I would ask that if the state wants the Honorable Court to proceed with sentencing, that's fine, but I would ask the Honorable Court not to consider the state's evidence in aggravation because they failed to follow the proper procedure for admission of same. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Any response, Mr. Yellowman-Shilley?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't have both of the dates in front of me, but the state provided its first notice of intent to use any convictions contained in Mr. Fost's criminal record in aggravation of punishment as part of its discovery certificate that was filed on, I believe, April 2nd of 2025. Subsequent to that, we provided a more specific notice that listed 3 convictions coming out of Clark County, and then we amended that notice with the second notice of intent to use prior convictions in aggravation for recidivism, which doesn't necessarily apply here for purposes of impeachment as well. But the original notice is from April 2nd of 2025.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I would ask the Honorable Court not to take Mr. Yalamachily's word for it. If the Honorable Court could review the record to make sure that it's accurate. I disagree with that position, but I may be mistaken. I would just ask the Honorable Court to confirm.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cruz. I actually have reviewed the record, and Mr. Yalamachily is correct. So I'm going to overrule your objection. I'm also holding in my hand the state's second notice of intent to use prior convictions in aggravation of sentencing, and that was filed on October the 2nd. So I have one of them actually in my hand, but I have reviewed the record, and Mr. Yalamachily is correct, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
And Judge, so State's Exhibit 1 was a conviction for attempted robbery, Your Honor, with the date that I noted. State's Exhibit 2 is a certified conviction regarding possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and other offenses from 96 OR 165J, again, out of the Superior Court of Oglethorpe County. Then we come to the 4 Clark County convictions that the state intends to admit for aggravation. State's Exhibit 3 is SU 01CR0298. This was an aggravated assault committed on February 4th of 2001 involving cutting or another individual in the neck area, and the sentence date on that particular offense, I believe, was September 6th of 2001. Obviously, the offense date is within a couple of weeks of this murder. And then State's Exhibit 4 is SU 11CR0744. This is a certified conviction, again, for Mr. Fost for a felony, and it is a conviction for possession of cocaine as well as driving while license suspended and misdemeanor obstruction of a law enforcement officer. State's Exhibit 5 is another certified conviction. This is SU 13CR0203 out of the Superior Court of Clark County. And this is a conviction for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, as well as misdemeanor obstruction of a law enforcement officer. And Your Honor, the sentence date on this particular case is November 6th.
All right, we're going to continue to follow the sentencing proceedings in Clark County Superior Court. We are waiting for family members to begin delivering victim impact statements. We're going to take you back to the courtroom as soon as that happens. While we await that, you're looking live inside of a restaurant in Floyd County. The Varsity. They're at the Varsity. President Donald Trump is making his way into the Varsity in northwest Georgia, in Floyd County. This is the first stop on his several stop tour of that corner of our state, just a few weeks ahead of a special election to fill the currently vacant 14th congressional district, vacated after Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned her seat in the middle of her term. At the beginning of this year, you see Secret Service sweeping the inside of this restaurant, and folks are now getting up on their feet. That typically indicates the president is about to walk in. We're watching along live with you. I don't know if we can hear anything from inside of the feed or not right now. As we continue to wait the president's arrival There he is, President Donald Trump, walking into the Varsity in Rome.
You've made a lot of money. My sister Carrie. What a nice group. So we're studying my speech. Would you like to hear my speech? Yeah. I'm making a speech in a little while. Here, take it. You can take it. Thank you, Kelly. Good. Everything okay? Look at those people back there. They have all those beautiful hamburgers. So you've had it for a long time. Almost 100 years.
My dad started.
Wow.
1928. I took it over in 1983.
Wow.
And now passed it on to my son and my son-in-law.
Very good. Look.
Thank you.
It's a good looking fish.
Have a grandson.
And you have great loyalty over here, too. All loyal people. Oh, look, Trump was. She's a captain. We win big.
And just as we told you, we're going to take you back inside of the Clark County Superior Courtroom where sentencing is underway for Edric Fost, convicted in the killing of Tara Baker. We told you we're going to bring you back there as soon as victim impact statements began. We are getting word that they are now beginning. Let's listen in right now.
After these 25 years of pain, and so if it is okay, I have asked my son-in-law to read my statement for me, if that would be all right.
Yes, ma'am. That is certainly all right. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor, members of the court. There are no words to fully express the horror of what this monster did to my daughter, Tara. For weeks, I have sat in this courtroom, forced to look at evil, to hear details I never wanted to know. I have endured it only for her sake. January 19, 2001 was the collision of pure good and incomprehensible evil. Over these 25 years, the truth has emerged slowly, each new piece more terrible than the last. The question that never leaves me is why? I have asked God this question thousands of times. I still have no complete answer, and the pain remains. As a mother, I cannot bear the image of Tara dying alone, frightened, calling for help that never came. Night after night, I dream of carrying her burned and broken body, walking endless roads trying desperately to find someone who could help, someone who could bring her back. I have begged God to trade my life for hers. She is gone. The emptiness she left is vast and unending. Tara was intelligent, kind, dutiful, and loving. She worked hard toward her dream of becoming a lawyer so she could help others. Yet she never lost her generosity or her caring nature. Her life was full of promise and light. The person who took her lived in complete opposition to everything she stood for. His actions were selfish, depraved, without compassion or regard for the lives he destroyed. He did not only end her life and her dreams, he tried to erase her completely by setting the fire. Our family had never known violent crime before that day. Her absence still wounds her siblings, her friends, and all who loved her. The pain is constant, even in moments that should be joyful. I will never forget sitting beside her closed casket, praying it was all a mistake, that we would open it and find it empty. Though I begged to open the casket to see my sweet girl one last time, my husband and the funeral director protected me from seeing the devastation that Edric Fost had caused. The impossible hope that somehow she was not in that casket was the last thread I clung to before accepting she was truly gone. After 25 years of living in the shadow of this loss, praying, waiting, and enduring, the final chapter has been written today. As the district attorney reminded us, it was the jury's solemn duty to hold the pen and write the correct ending to this tragic story. They have done so, bringing accountability at last and allowing light to pierce the darkness that has shadowed our family for so long. Tara's beautiful soul is now safe with our Lord. Her short life was filled with love, and that love endures in every heart she touched. I thank God for the grace that has carried me this far. I thank him for my remaining children, Tara's siblings, and I thank him for my grandchildren. We all thank him for the legacy of light that Tara left behind. Tara was, and always will be, deeply loved. Such a beautiful life, so full of promise. Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Cruz, anything from the defense with regard to this victim witness?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Yalamanchili, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state would call Adam Baker.
On January 19th, 2001, my beloved sister, Tara Baker, was stabbed, beaten, strangled, raped, and finally set on fire. That horrific act was not where the tragedy ended. That is where it began. Tara was an extraordinary human being. Beautiful, compassionate, driven, and hilariously funny. She was the best of us. I have never known anyone with a purer heart. Tara and I were more than siblings. We were best friends. From the day I was born until the day Edric Fost ripped her from us, we were inseparable. She cheered me on at every step. My decision to join the Air Force, my dreams of flying, it was her dream for me to become a pilot. I remember how she beamed with pride after I joined the Air Force. I remember coming home on leave and her giving me the biggest hug. We talked so much about my training and what things were like. I also remember the moment she saw my dog tags and truly understood what they meant. She grew quiet. She cried. It was the first time she ever considered that my life could be cut short. Neither of us ever imagined it could have been the other way around. Being far from home meant I was alone when I learned of her death. My father was desperately trying to contact a military chaplain to sit with me when the news came, but I called him first. The cries of anguish I made during that call haunted him until the day he died. I still have nightmares in which our roles are reversed and I am the one making that call, hearing the pain, unable to hug my son or comfort him. I remember the fog of arranging a flight back to Georgia, the long journey home, watching people board planes and go about their day oblivious. The flight attendants offered pretzels or cookies. All I could think was, I want my sister back. The entire flight, I dreaded one moment above all, seeing my mother. When I finally reached my parents' house and I saw her face, the anguish there was something no one should ever have to witness on their own mother. In hysterical grief, she held me for what felt like days, weeping and wailing. That evening, through her tears, she begged me to achieve my dreams because Tara could no longer achieve hers. I focused as only Tara could have inspired me to do. I made every rank as early as military regulations allowed. Eventually, I was accepted to officer training school. My family attended my graduation. Tara was not there. I went on to flight school and earned my wings. At graduation, my family proudly pinned those wings on my chest, but Tara was not there. I met an amazing woman whom Tara would have adored. We married. At the wedding, we took family photos of the whole Baker family. Tara was not in them. Every Christmas, every family gathering, every milestone, Tara was absent. She never got to be a sister to my wife. She never held my infant daughter, beaming with pride as an aunt. She never cradled my twins when they were born. My oldest child has had to learn of her Aunt Tara through photographs and stories. She favors her. I mourn not only Tara, but everything that was stolen from us. Tara would have turned 49 last month. I have no doubt she would have pursued her dreams, achieved her goals. She would have married and had children. My beautiful nieces and nephews that I never got to meet. My mother's precious grandbabies, who now would be old enough to chase their own dreams and start their own families. An entire branch of our family tree was severed irreparably on that one day to satisfy one man's depravity. The last 25 years should have been full of life, laughter, and generations. But the pain doesn't end here today. Despite this verdict, the pain will continue. This summer, I will retire from the career that Tara inspired me to pursue. My family will fly out. We will celebrate. There will be pictures. Tara won't be in them. She won't be there. Tara's children won't be there. Tara's grandchildren won't be there. In fact, our dad, who died at the age of 59, due to the stress and grief of losing a child, will not be there. And he is but one of a list of family members who I am certain would still be alive today had it not been for the stress, grief, depression, and utter devastation caused 25 years ago. For many years, I wrestled with God over what happened. That struggle eventually and ultimately led me to a place of forgiveness. Long before I ever heard the name Edric Fost, I chose to forgive him. Today, sitting in this courtroom face to face, I can honestly say, I have forgiven you. I harbor no hate in my heart. I've given that all to God. You will stand before him one day. I pray that before then, you will confess, you will repent, and you will seek for the forgiveness of Christ. He will grant it. Until then, I need nothing from you except this one thing, that you never hurt anyone else again. Your Honor, I leave that responsibility to the judicial system. Please ensure that Mr. Fost never has the opportunity to harm another person. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Cruz, anything from the defense?
In regards to this witness, no, ma'am.
All right. You may call your next witness, Mr. Yellow-Manchili.
Meredith Schroeder, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
During these last few weeks, we, Tara's family and friends, and all who loved her, were forced to relive this nightmare, to face the darkest time of our lives once more, to face things that we have avoided for 25 years. We sat and watched in horror the sight of her lifeless body, discarded like trash amongst the debris. We sat here in this courthouse and watched Tara be victimized once more. Watched social media legal pundits co-opt our family photos as their own and opine on who they thought Tara was. I've watched as people came to spectate, like a morbid kid poking at her and us like dead animals on the side of the road. For all those interested parties, I will tell you who Tara was. She was our North Star, our champion. She was kind. She was determined. She wasn't perfect, but she was close to it. She spent her short life lifting people up and wanted to dedicate her life to making people happy. Happy Law was her dream, and she had carved out her path to achieve it, and no one hated her. On January 19, 2001, Tara woke and began her day like any other. While that day will remain the darkest of our lives, it was nothing compared to what Tara endured. I cannot imagine the fear and anger she felt, how she fought, telling herself this was not happening. While Tara was our everything, it wasn't enough for Faust. For the last 25 years, he has wreaked havoc on this community. Just 2 weeks after he ended Tara's life, he put a knife into a man's neck. He shattered another man's jaw over a parking space outside the 40-watt. He savagely beat his wife on a cruise and then later pistol whipped her with her own gun. While we have sat here trying to maintain our composure, I've watched the defendant sleep through proceedings. I'm terribly sorry to have inconvenienced him, but you see, while he got to walk free for the last 25 years, he dealt Tara and all of us a life sentence. He stole from her, he stole from me, he stole from my children, and he stole from all of us. None of us are the same people who woke up on January 19th, 2001. Every day for the last 25 years, I have literally thought about my sister. I've wondered if her wild and tacky sister would have made her proud. I've mourned the friendship that we were building outside of sister. I've mourned the tone-deaf car karaoke sessions and the Friday night rom-coms. I've mourned the life lessons that she tried to teach me, but my dumb teenage brain couldn't understand. The guilt that I feel that I've lived an entire life that was denied her cannot be measured. I have prayed that I've been strong enough for her, that I've fought enough for her, I've prayed these last few weeks that I've done right by her. Today I stand here channeling her strength to face the man convicted by a jury of his peers to this nightmare, to let him know that after today, I will endeavor to forget his face and his name, to never allow him to cross my thoughts again. After today, I will live my life remembering how Tara lived. My final request is that this honorable court ensure that he is put somewhere where he finally ends his reign of mayhem. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from the defense, Mr. Cruz?
Only to make 2 corrections, Your Honor. In regards to pistol whipping his wife, that is nothing that occurred or was evidence in this case.
I'll let you say that when it's your turn, but in terms of any questions you have for the witness.
Absolutely
All right,
not.
thank you, sir. You may call your next witness.
Kevin Baker.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Of course, indulgence as I get my paperwork here. It's maybe one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. Your Honor, my name is Kevin Baker. I'm Tara's youngest brother, who she affectionately called her baby darling. There's a 12-year age gap between the two of us, so I wouldn't see her as much as a big sister as I would see her as a motherly figure. Over the past several days, I have sat in this room and listened to people argue over semantics while thinking that my Tara, beloved sister, cuddle buddy and protector, is gone. We're arguing over a Super Bowl and a World Series. Well, I can't tell you who won that game, but I can tell you every detail that happened that day. My earliest memories of Tara and I were singing Beatles songs and Elvis songs and having a dance party in the living room. We watched old movies like Wizard of Oz and the Braves game on TV as we would cheer on her boys to victory. I even told her as a young boy I was going to play baseball and I was going to be just like Chipper Jones, who she adored so much. She would sit there as I would tell her that, and she would smile and say, "You could do whatever you wanted to do as long as you put enough effort into it." To help me sleep, she would tell me Bible stories and hold me close when I was scared of the dark or when things would go bump in the night. Everywhere Tara lived, she invited me to stay at her house. From her dorm at Georgia College to the 80 Pie house, I was always welcome, where most college girls would think having a 9 or 10-year-old little brother following them around a college campus would be annoying and maybe even a bit embarrassing. But she saw it as an opportunity to connect and show me how doing well in school can benefit you. I remember the last time I saw her. It was towards the end of Christmas holiday. Adam was home, and she thought how great it would be to have a siblings' day out. She took us out, myself, Adam, and Meredith, to Chick-fil-A for lunch. We laughed, we carried on, and had a great time as a family. It was probably my last true happy memory as a child. She said goodbye to me in the driveway. She bent down on one knee and gave me the warmest hug and a white turtleneck sweater and a brown leather jacket and a kiss on the cheek. She told me to do my best in school as a new school year would be starting. In a few weeks, she would be back to visit with just me. She planned to come home and visit with me and go to my baseball game. I started that next school year with just the focus on school and sports. Then came Friday, January 19th, 2001. I was taken out of school, oblivious to what was happening at the time. My parents were in a panic and dropped me off at my grandparents', who would soon drive me up to Athens. But before we made our way to Athens, I asked my grandparents if it would be okay to get something to give to Tara as a gift. My grandparents, already knowing what was happening in the situation, couldn't bear to be the ones to give me the news. So they took me to a Hobby Lobby. I got a dolphin figurine and I made it for her, not knowing that she would never receive it. I arrived at the Holiday Inn right down the road from here. As a child of only 11, I was given the news by my late father that there was a fire at Tara's house. My immediate response was, "Is she in the hospital? Tell me she's okay." My dad stood there, choking back tears saying, "No, buddy, she didn't make it. She's gone." At that moment, my childhood innocence was destroyed. It would be shadowed by grief and running around this college campus with flyers asking who killed my sister, asking questions, not knowing anything other than she was gone. Learning words that no elementary school kid should ever have to learn or know happened to his big sister. Words such as rape, stabbing, arson, and murder. Kids at school would say, "We're sorry for your loss." I was only thinking to myself, I didn't lose her. She was stolen from me. Where most kids would come home to a warm house full of happiness, I came home to a house, despite my parents' best efforts to create the best environment possible, it felt more like a mausoleum than a warm home. Unlike my siblings, I went through the majority of my life, from childhood, teenage, and adult phases, without Tara. Unable to ask her, "Am I doing okay? Is this what I should be doing in school or in life? Would you be proud of the man your baby brother has become?" I strived to be just like her throughout my childhood. When I received awards, graduated high school, and graduated college, Tara was not there. When my father died, which this murder took years off of his life due to stress, instead of Tara holding me while giving me the news of my father's passing, I fell to my knees in a hospital parking lot at midnight alone to collect myself and be strong for my mother, who was already in the ER room waiting for me to arrive. I found love and married, and instead of a family being in the front row, I had 2 empty chairs with 2 white roses for both my father and Tara, who would have been there if the situations had been different. As this trial goes on, I have read and seen the absolute best and the absolute worst of people in both this courtroom and outside who seek to turn a sensitive matter into a circus of calamity and pandemonium for their own entertainment, for likes on their social media pages, all the while seeing how this trial has opened up old wounds and exposed horrible memories. I have heard how this man is sitting here fighting for his life. Well, it makes me think about something about that morning. Did Tara have a chance to fight for her life? Who was there at the moment when she needed someone the most? No one, because she was scared and she died alone. Your Honor, I've listened to details for the first time that I've never been told about this case, not because the case was not thoroughly investigated, but because of the horrific and gruesome facts that my family tried to shield from me due to the age at the time. Your Honor, when that verdict was read, the person that's sitting here in that pew that day is not the 36-year-old man that stands before you right now. It was that 11-year-old boy who brought back all that pain and loneliness of being in that hotel room knowing that his sister had just been killed. As a father of a young girl, I dread for the day that I will have to give the tale to my daughter of her Aunt Tara, not for being the loving aunt who would have loved her so much or strived for greatness, but as a cautionary story of safety, because someone thought that they could play God and decide who should live and who doesn't. I've taken my grief and I've used it as a career to help others during their time of loss and guide them through their grieving process. It gives me peace to know that none of these families that I will undoubtedly have to help in the future will not be caused by this man's reign of terror in this community. I pray that there will not be another family in this community that will have to deal with the same pain and sorrow and cruelty that we have had to deal with over these past 25 years. This is not the final chapter of Tara's story, because once this case is concluded and her story will live on in everyone who ever knew her and everyone who ever loved her, despite this man's best efforts to destroy her legacy and destroy her body, she will endure in our hearts forever. For those who are in this courtroom or maybe watching at home, I ask you this: will you remember her? Because she would remember you. Thank you, Your Honor, for your time.
Thank you. Anything from the defense, Mr. Cruz? of this witness?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may call your next witness.
Your Honor, we don't have any other witnesses. We're ready to make our recommendation at this time.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I cannot offer anything more important or more impactful than what Tara's family has already said, and I will not try. The court has heard the evidence in this case and all its brutality and depravity. It's horrific, even in the context of other murder cases. The state's recommendation in this case is as follows. On count 1, a sentence of life imprisonment. On counts 2 through 5, vacated. Count 7 would be 30 years confinement concurrent with count 1. Count 8 would be life consecutive to count 1. Count 9 would merge with count 1. Count 10 would be 30 years consecutive to counts 1 and 7 while being concurrent with count 8. Count 6 would be 20 years consecutive to counts 8 and 10. Count 11 would be 20 years consecutive to count 6. And count 12 would be 5 years consecutive to count 11. The total sentence would be 2 consecutive life sentences plus 45 years of confinement with 60 years of non-parolable concurrent confinement with those 2 life sentences. That's the state's recommendation, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Yeoman-Shell, you went through that very quickly, so I'm actually going to ask you to go through it slowly so I take down what you say, and I will do the same, of course, for Mr. Cruz. If you'll do it a little bit slower for the court, I want to make sure I know what you are asking for, and then I'll do the same for Mr. Cruz.
Yes,
So
Judge.
start with count 1.
I will, and just for an overall, again, in total, we're getting to 2 consecutive life sentences plus 45 years of confinement with 60 years of non-parolable confinement concurrent with those 2 life sentences. And the way that we structured that was in count 1, life. Counts 2 through 5, vacated. Count 7, 30 years concurrent with count 1. Count 8 is life consecutive to count 1. Count 9, the aggravated assault, merges with count 1. Count 10 would be 30 years consecutive to counts 1 and 7 and concurrent with count 8. Count 6 would be 20 years consecutive to counts 8 and 10. Count 11 would be 20 years consecutive to count 6. And count 12 would be 5 years consecutive to count 11.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cruz.
Would you like us to start with mitigation before we get into sentencing?
Yes, certainly you can. If you are presenting witnesses, this would be the time to do so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I had a lot of inquiries, if I may. If you're here to testify on Mr. Fost's behalf, can you raise your hand for me? 1, 2. All right, you all come up to the front row.
Mr. Terrell, can you help with the podium here? And then maybe we'll put a microphone, put it in between the tables. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
We are continuing to follow along the sentencing proceedings in the case of the murder of Tara Baker. Edric Fost, convicted of that murder on Tuesday. The sentencing proceedings are underway. You just heard from Baker's family delivering victim impact statements. The defense has now called witnesses to speak as well. Let's listen.
Brother Edric Fost, and the picture that being painted as a monster, he's no monster. He's a human being. He has family that loves him and care for him. With all this, I want justice to be served, and justice to be served the correct and right way. And all has been said and presented throughout the court system. I've been here day one, ever since Mr. Fost got arrested back in 2023, whenever it was. Like I say to this day, I want the Baker family to get justice. And I feel that justice was not served. And I feel that they're painting a picture of Mr. Fost like he's a monster. He's no monster. He has family, grandkids, kids, and all. And he has lost people also. My father, which is his uncle, which helped raise him. And I know my father raised me, and my father did not raise no animal, nor monster. And I ask you, Lisa, today, as you get ready to sentence Mr. Fost, to really look at the justice and the way things should be laid out. Because Mr. Fost, my cousin, I love him. My brother, we raised in the same house like I keep saying. He's no monster. He's a human being. And things that happen to Tara, I am a female too. And I hate all of that. But I would like for justice to be served, and to be served the correct and right way.
Thank you. Ms. Gialmachilli, anything from the state?
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
You may call your next witness.
Your Honor, next we have Mr. Bryson Shields.
How you doing, Miss Lisa Lott?
Good afternoon.
I know E. I used to walk car with him.
You'll pull that microphone out.
I'm sorry. I used to walk cars with E. And like in last witness, he's not no monster, man. And I'm sorry for what happened. But justice wasn't served here. So that's all.
Thank you. Ms. Gialmachilli, anything from the state?
No, Your Honor.
You may call your next witness, Mr. Cruz.
And I'd like to make a statement for on behalf of Mr. Fost. And I know it's unique for the attorney to do so.
Go ahead, sir.
But Your Honor, you're aware that obviously our system is a system of laws, and once the jury renders a verdict, regardless if we agree with it or disagree with it, that's the law we follow. That's the procedure we follow. I would ask the Honorable Court to consider in its sentencing, and we know what the mandatory sentencing is in this case, but we would ask the Honorable Court to consider things that took place in this case. As the Honorable Court is aware, and obviously we don't relitigate issues, Mr. Fost didn't have opportunity to explain his DNA. Mr. Fost didn't have opportunity to argue consent. There were things, and throughout this trial, I spoke the truth this entire trial. Not one time did a dishonest statement come out of my mouth. But as I advised the Honorable Court, I've reviewed every piece of discovery in this case. And this case is a true tragedy. The very first time I stepped in this courtroom, Your Honor, I said in order to get justice for my client, I would have to get it for the Baker family. And obviously I failed at that. The jury decided otherwise. But, Your Honor, I presented the evidence that I could present to the Honorable Court, to the jury as well. I am aware of the mandatory sentencing schemes, but I do know the Honorable Court at the end of this and upon sentencing typically gives its own proffer or statement to the defendant in regards to the Honorable Court's thoughts and the reason it's given the sentence that it is giving. I would ask the Honorable Court if it would consider this is a case of very unique circumstances. And obviously, the evidence that we presented again to jury as the finder of fact found that our theory was not the truth. But I would just ask the Honorable Court, when it renders its sentence, to give the lesser on the lesser end, even though it's mandatory, but also in regards to the Honorable Court's statements to the defendant, or Mr. Fost, which will come. I just ask the Honorable Court to keep everything in mind, because Your Honor is aware of a lot more than I was able to present to the jury. And that's all I'd like to say to the Honorable Court. To the Baker family, this is a heartbreaking case. And as an advocate in this case, no one, the state and I would disagree completely, but no one would ever say that this wasn't a tragedy. And I give my heartfelt, and I mean my heartfelt from the bottom of my heart, my heart goes out to you all and what you've been through. But, Your Honor, I just ask you to consider that when it comes to your statement to Mr. Fost at the time of sentencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Do you have any specifics with regard to counts 1 through 12 you'd like for the court to consider?
I do. My other two witnesses just arrived, Your Honor.
All right. You may present your witnesses, sir.
Hey, my name is Katrina Fost.
Good afternoon.
Edric Fost isn't a monster. He is a very lovely, funny, and hard-working person. Edric will always be my cousin, my brother, and I ask God to protect him. I pray to God to give him strength every day and to keep his smile together. And his family will keep fighting for justice for him. Edric Fost isn't the killer. He was accused as the killer, but he isn't the killer. And he also have a family that love him. And we're going to keep fighting for justice for him as long as it takes. And I'm sorry for the Baker family. And I'm sorry for my family had to keep grieving over this. Because it's been very hard for the Fost family too.
Thank you. Anything from the state, Mr. Yelmichilli?
No, Your Honor.
You may call your next witness.
My name is Shonda Smith, and I would like to speak in reference to my cousin.
We continue to watch the sentencing proceedings in the case of the killing of Tara Baker. Edric Fost was convicted of her murder on Tuesday. The sentencing proceedings are now underway. You've been listening to victim impact statements from the family of Tara Baker and now witnesses in support of the defendant. That stream continues here on 11Alive Plus. Just click down and over. We'll be right back at 4 o'clock.
Well, thanks for joining us right here on 11Alive Plus. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Faith Jesse. And breaking at this hour, President Donald Trump, he is in North Georgia right now.
That's right. So the president is making an appearance in Rome. This is the heart of Georgia's 14th congressional district, where early voting is already underway in a special election for Marjorie Taylor Greene's open seat.
That's right. So let's take a live look right now from Coosa Steel, where you can see a podium set up there. The president actually set to take a tour of that facility and then actually speak about jobs and the economy. You can see the stage is set. There's a small audience, I would imagine probably employees as well as community members up in Rome. You see a sign, jobs, jobs, jobs. So when he is taking the podium, we will make sure to head back to this room so we can listen in.
Yeah, he's going to be talking about affordability with those who are in attendance. By the way, after arriving, the president stopped by the Varsity in Rome. This is right off of Broad Street with supporters and protesters lining the street, hoping to catch a glimpse. From there, he headed to do a podcast interview. Now, we spoke with some people waiting to see him at Coosa Steel about Marjorie Taylor Greene's departure from Congress. Listen to this.
We'll miss her.
She was very kind to us when we went to the inauguration.
Her staff was incredible.
And her staff was incredible, but she's chosen to move on, and we're excited about the next Congress.
You got to put the right people in office so they can hear your voice and vote for the ones that's going to support you, whether you're Democrat or Republican.
Early voting taking place right now for who will succeed Marjorie Taylor Greene. That runs through March 6th with Election Day set for March 10th.
All right, stand by for that. Hey, we got a live look right now in Athens. You may need to bring out that umbrella or at least keep it close because we're tracking some showers possibly headed your way.
That's right. 11Alive meteorologist Melissa Nord tracking it all for us. And Melissa, I know you have the latest on what we need to know about this crazy weather.
And you wouldn't know it if you step outside right now because it is so warm. In fact, we just got the 4 o'clock observation and we have now broken a record from over 135 years ago, back in 1891. Look at this. We're at 79 right now in Atlanta. The old record is 78 degrees. We're running 20 degrees above average for this time of year at the moment. So not just Atlanta is breaking records. Look at how warm it is all across North Georgia. Covington, 81 degrees, 81 as well in Eatonton. Athens is 79 right now and 83 degrees in Rome. So we've got this unseasonably warm weather with a southwesterly wind. We had clouds this morning. Those have thinned out, so we're seeing those bright skies out here right now. But come tomorrow, this is the next weather system I'm tracking to move into North Georgia. You see this red box on the map. That is a tornado watch. Several warned systems are ongoing right now across parts of central Kentucky and also out towards Illinois. And we'll see that storm system sliding in here tomorrow, bringing an increased chance of showers and even some isolated thunderstorms. This evening, though, pretty nice. So enjoy it outside. We've got temperatures that are in the 70s now. We'll hold there even past sunset this evening for a couple of hours. By tomorrow morning, though, showers, isolated storms are already here. I'll time that out, what it looks like for your whole weekend ahead.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Melissa. We will see you then. You know, folks, today marks the turning point in the trial of Colin Gray. He's the father of Colin Gray, the accused gunman in the Appalachia High School shooting. Now, after days of testimony centered on the shooting itself, today prosecutors now shifted their focus to the warning signs that they allege Colin ignored about his son's mental state. 11Alive's Marissa Sarback live right now in Barrow County at the courthouse with the latest on that. Marissa?
Ron, this marks a major shift from the prosecution. This is the first day that we've really heard from the prosecution that Colin Gray is responsible and that he had sufficient warning that his son Colt would harm others. Now, in the past few days, we have actually heard from students and teachers, law enforcement that responded to that school. And today, the prosecution is showing years of documented issues in Colt's family life that they argue led up to the shooting on September 4th, 2024. This is body camera video from a visit Jackson County deputies made to the Gray home in May 2023 after the FBI investigated Colt for allegedly making threats about shooting up a school in an online chat room. First, the deputies spoke with Colin and then with Colt, who denied making those threats online.
I gotta take you at your word, and I hope you're being honest with me. I'm not saying you're lying, but it's not unusual for people to lie to police.
And nobody ever called him again.
Correct.
Deputy testifying today. They never followed up with the Gray family again because they couldn't prove the online threats came from Colt. Also today, we heard from multiple employees in the Georgia Division of Family and Children Services who checked in on the family for years to address what they believed to be a challenging home life and problems that continued brewing. They testified that Colt reported physical abuse in the home. Colt's mother tested positive for drugs, leaving Colin Gray with full custody of Colt and his 2 siblings, and Colt had searched online, quote, how to kill your dad. Now, we also learned that Colt was enrolled in 9 different schools in 5 years. The prosecution, again, trying to show this is responsibility on Colin Gray's part, the father of Colt Gray. The defense arguing it's everyone else who let him slip through the cracks. Live outside Barrow County Court, Marissa Sarback, 11Alive News.
Well, the alleged evidence is very disturbing. Marissa, thanks for staying on top of this story for us tonight. By the way, folks, we're going to continue to bring you live coverage from the court. Download 11Alive Plus onto your TV to stream full testimony and key moments from that trial.
Well, a former Douglas County judge has been found not guilty after she was arrested in connection to a fight outside of a Buckhead nightclub in 2024. We're talking about Christina Peterson. She was accused of interfering with a police officer who was breaking up a fight outside Red Martini Restaurant and Lounge. Peterson says that she saw a man attacking a woman and she stepped in to help. Well, she represented herself during a trial on a misdemeanor obstruction charge and became emotional today as the judge read the not guilty verdict. Well, earlier this year, Peterson filed a complaint against the city of Atlanta and the officer involved here, alleging she was slammed to the ground and subjected to excessive force during her arrest.
We have new details coming out of Coweta County this afternoon, where deputies and SWAT team members responded to a very tense situation involving a homeowner accused of firing at workers. So the Coweta County Sheriff's Office says this all happened this morning on Smith Circle. Deputies said that they tried to call the suspect out, but he refused, prompting a perimeter SWAT response. In other words, surrounding the entire home. Well, around noontime, they say the 69-year-old man came out of the home and was taken into custody without incident, and this case remains under investigation. Well, 2 more Georgia Bulldogs football players are now facing charges after they were arrested for reckless driving and speeding. So Gerald records show that Chris Cole and Darren Akinabon were booked last night. Now, Akinabon is also accused of following too closely. The arrest marks the latest in a series of driving-related incidents tied to the program since the deadly crash of 2023 as the team was celebrating its national championship. 11Alive reached out to UGA's athletic department for comment. So far, we have not heard back.
Well, state leaders are speaking out about the recent arrest involving UGA athletes. 11Alive's Dan Kennedy talked to the governor's office of highway safety today on 11Alive Plus.
In case you missed it this morning on 11Alive Plus from our streaming center, news broke while we were on the air of 2 UGA football players arrested last night for reckless driving. We spoke with the deputy director of the governor's office of highway safety about how the program can buck the trend of driving-related issues.
Immaturity is part of the equation, but a lot of people young feel that there's no consequences for their action until they're caught, and most of the time they get caught. We do know that these coaches and these athletes are given guidance as to what to do and not to do. It's just about taking a chance. It's just like beginning to speed. You know, when you look at the speedometer, it says 55 and you see it go to 60, you know you're speeding. So the component at that point is just getting caught. So I think what has to happen in that capacity is we've got to drive home education. That's the only way we're going to change the trend. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier. We cannot do this alone. We have to have the public's help.
You can catch interviews like that every morning from 9 to 11 a.m. on 11Alive Plus from here in our streaming center, and we'll continue to follow breaking news as it happens. We'll see you tomorrow at 9.
Coming up next, can you still catch measles even if you're fully vaccinated? That's the question. Well, experts explain the rare cases and why 2 doses matter.
And next, inside Italy's coffee capital, where espresso becomes art and every cup is crafted to perfection.
Folks, we got some breaking news out of Milan. Team USA's women's hockey team taking home the gold after beating Canada just moments ago in overtime. So this is how it all went down. Megan Keller scoring the winning shot to put Team USA up 2-1 after captain Hillary Knight scored in the third period to tie it all up. This is the third time in the last 4 Olympic tournaments that the USA and Canada women's hockey teams needed extra minutes to decide who would take home the gold. Of course, we're going to have more coming up on All Access tonight at 11.
Well, in Italy, coffee is more than a drink. It is a way of life. And 11Alive Cheryl Preheim, she's taking us inside a one-of-a-kind institute where tradition and innovation come together in every cup.
Coffee is an art form in itself here in Italy, and to make the perfect cup, some people will enroll in the Coffee Institute. Surrounded by the beauty of Florence, Italy, is the Accademia Cafe Espresso, an institute where they love coffee so much they study each and every part of it, with coffee labs, kitchens to create food you can pair with coffee, a coffee museum, and Western Europe's largest indoor coffee plantation. In the basement,
this is the workshop where we work the most.
There's also a workshop where lead designer Stefano Della Piatra
It's a baby from the 60s,
and his team make Marsico espresso machines. Some of the world's most unique espresso machines that, like Italian sculptures, are custom built, often from a simple idea.
Sometimes we start from a mood board directly from the customer. Sometimes we talk with other designers and we try to create the shape that is in the mind of our customer.
And can cost up to $20,000 a piece, with coffee shops, Porsche, even NBA players ordering them to be made the way the early founders of this company made espresso machines 60 years ago.
We try to be that because this is what the Bambis were doing in the past, so they were creating a different machine for each customer. And we know that here, by creating every machine by hand, we will create something different every time. So we try to stay true to our roots and to keep pushing this legacy forward.
So the science behind coffee and something that brings Italians together, lining so many of these quaint streets, great little coffee shops and restaurants where people will enjoy a beautiful day in Milan like this. Reporting in Italy, Cheryl Preheim, 11Alive News.
$20,000 per machine. I bet you that coffee tastes great.
Gold. Probably. I was going to say, I mean, if you're paying that much, but you're paying for the craftsmanship as well.
There you go.
But $20,000, woo, that's a lot of money.
I think your cafe coffees that you make here look pretty nice.
My protein coffee.
Your protein coffee with your whipped cream on top.
I'll charge $20,000 for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Early retirement.
Y'all won't see me at the news anymore if people bought that.
Well, it'd be nice to enjoy a cup of coffee outside, maybe iced coffee today.
Oh, nice.
It's like pushing hot, short sleeves, shorts weather out there. We've now broken a record from 135 years ago.
Okay.
One of the oldest that are left in Atlanta. And we are going to see a lot more warm temperatures tomorrow before showers and storms come in as well.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about that coming up. You can see the temperatures right now. We are in the upper 70s over North Georgia. We've got that cloud cover over Georgia's Midtown camera, 81 right now in Covington, Peachtree City, 78. So we're off to a warm start on this Thursday evening. Look at the high temperatures the whole month of February. This is the 15th day so far this month, above average. Was the groundhog right? I'm not sure. I think meteorologists are still a little better at prognostication. You can see the sunshine breaking out this afternoon to our north storm system there. That's where there's a big level 3 risk of severe weather today. Several discrete supercell thunderstorms breaking out. This storm system, cold front, drapes to the south and by tomorrow arrives here, but we are not going to see this same weather setup as they are seeing to the north. So will we see a chance of thunderstorms? Yes, Friday and especially Saturday. I think the odds of seeing a stronger storm is pretty low tomorrow, although there is a level 1 risk area there. I think a little better chance is Saturday early afternoon on the south side of the metro area. So here comes the weather system rolling in here to start the weekend, stalls out over us Saturday, and then pulls off to the east. Let me go a little closer hour by hour on this forecast track. You can see the clear skies, nice breeze in the air this evening. As we head through the overnight, the clouds are going to build back in. And we'll start your morning commute already with an opportunity for some showers and a few isolated thunderstorms. There could be a couple pockets of heavy rain, but this stuff that moves in tomorrow morning is going to be much weaker than what it looks like right now. So some wet roadways for that morning commute possible. Chesley McNeil will be navigating you through where those wettest spots on the radar are. You can see for tomorrow afternoon, assuming break into sunshine, should be again up in the 70s. And then as that front stalls over us, here comes more waves Saturday of shower and storm activity. But as I mentioned, I think the better chance of an isolated stronger storm will be on the south side of the metro, kind of midday hours through the early afternoon. You can see them draped just south of I-20, 10 o'clock in the morning, and then clearing there by the end of Saturday afternoon. Colder air is moving back for Sunday, so we are going to see goodbye to the fake spring that's out there right now. It's going to be feeling a lot cooler out there. Okay, so planner for tomorrow. We'll start in the morning with some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Again, there is that level 1 risk, but we feel that the greater threat will just be that locally heavy rain. For tomorrow, hitting a high of 75 degrees. Now, we've now broken a record today. Tomorrow, the record is 78. So we'll be close to it, probably not quite there. We have another day of 70-degree temperatures Saturday. Then we get colder by the second half of the weekend. Look at Monday, 46 degrees. If you're headed to Echo Park Speedway for a big race weekend this weekend, expect the early race on Saturday could have some rain impacts, should be drying by the second one, and then we will see that colder air arriving by the second half of the weekend. 7-day forecast, that chill is with us, freezing temperatures early next week. Today's Weather Wow Moment, magnolias blooming in Alpharetta. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for sending in that photo. If you have a great Weather Wow Moment, you can post that in our Facebook group and join the conversation.
So far in 2026, 5 new measles outbreaks have now been reported, with cases confirming in 24 states, including right here in Georgia. Now, health experts say vaccination offers the strongest protection out there, but can you still get measles after both of those doses? Well, in today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks with a doctor about what you need to know.
2 doses of the vaccine that protects against measles are about 97% effective at preventing infection from the virus. But what about that other 3%?
Nothing is 100% effective. They don't make you, immortal.
Dr. Sarah Nozel with the American Academy of Family Physicians says it's rare, but about 3 in every 100 people exposed to measles can still catch the virus even if they're fully vaccinated against the disease. However, she says getting both doses of the vaccine significantly lowers risk of being infected. And if you do get sick, she says the illness isn't likely to be as severe as it could be in an unvaccinated person.
Sick, at first it can look like a cold. You can get a fever and a cough, red eyes, runny nose. But as you get more sick, 1 in 4 individuals, children who get measles, will end up hospitalized.
Less than 3 months into 2026, there have been 910 confirmed measles cases reported to the CDC. Of those, 94% were in people who were either unvaccinated or their vaccination status was unknown. 30 of those patients were hospitalized, most of them under age 5.
Doctors are afraid of measles. Measles is incredibly scary in the sense that it is so contagious. So if you haven't been protected with a vaccine, you are very likely to get infected if anyone around you has the measles.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, now to this, new federal numbers are raising concerns about when expecting mothers are getting care. Let's take a look at these numbers from the CDC analysis of birth certificate data. It found in 2024, about 75% of women received care in the first trimester. That is down from 78% of women in 2021, while more women are delaying care or skipping it altogether. Why is this happening? Well, experts cite pandemic disruptions and limited access to OB/GYN services as possible factors here. Doctors stress early visits are critical to protect both mom and baby.
You know, for many women out there, becoming a brand new mom can be really tough on the body, but now there is a new studio designed to help you, and you could bring your baby along. 11Alive's Aisha Howard has the details.
All right, let's give mom a minute, and this one gets kind of personal, but it's a topic that mamas want to know about. So nothing really goes back to being the same after you have a baby, and there is help for that to kind of get you back right and tight. It's called pelvic floor Pilates. You know, just in case you have that issue where you laugh, jump, or maybe cough a little bit and a little twinkle comes out, you don't want that happening, right? So you need to retrain your pelvic floor that could be out of whack. I was on social media and I discovered that there is a new Pilates studio focusing on pelvic floor Pilates. I went and tried it out. Did you know that 9 times out of 10 we're breathing wrong in a way that does not engage our abs? And my favorite part about this Pilates class is called Steady Studio. It's in DeKalb County. They actually welcome you to bring your child. So they want to teach mamas to not only put themselves first, getting their body back right and tight, but don't let having a kid be a barrier. Bring the kid along. Check out Steady Studio and my segment, Give Mom a Minute, on 11Alive Plus.
All right, coming up, a rescue dog brings hope and healing to foster teens one paw at a time. Still to come on 11Alive Plus at 4:30. A new funding in Fulton County is fueling the fight against opioids, expanding treatment and support for those battling addiction. You're watching 11Alive Plus.
Hey, so for kids who have been through more than most of us can even imagine, learning to trust can really feel impossible at times. But at one Georgia Children's Center, a dog is helping open that door to healing. And of course, Caitlin Ross is in the middle of all of this good news. I am so excited to learn about this pup that's making a real difference, Caitlin.
Faith, connection matters, and sometimes it starts in the simplest way, with a dog who shows up and loves without conditions.
Good girl.
Robin gives these kids something to believe in.
Sit. Paw.
Adopted from a shelter, the miniature Aussie dog helps them believe in themselves.
Robin.
18-year-old Jasmine says Robin has brought her comfort.
That's a good girl.
That people have not.
If Robin trusts me, then I should trust her, because trust is very important. Unconditional love.
Unconditional love is something the kids at Murphy Harp's Children's Center haven't always known. It's a home for kids aging out of foster care.
We work with kids who have histories of severe trauma. They've been neglected, abused, deprived, abandoned.
CEO Scott Merritt says the animals can reach kids in a way that sometimes years of therapy cannot.
They're able to sit there and have some privacy and talk to the dogs about whatever they want to talk about. They can identify the issues, the hurt.
Stay.
The hurt and the loss.
Paul, Robin. Good girl. Robin helped me with a lot of things in my life, like the passing of my mom. My mom used to love dogs. Robin.
For 19-year-old legend, Robin is more than comfort.
Robin is, a little part of my mom that I carry with me.
And on days when grief feels close and hard to escape, Robin gives the kids a moment of relief.
When I see her, I start thinking about how cute she is instead of how sad I am. And that helps a lot.
Robin is woven into the pet therapy program at the home. They have cats, horses, even a snake, helping the kids learn to trust again.
They're able to talk to the animals sooner than they're able to talk to the adults.
Sit.
Building that trust with the animals,
Robin.
It helps the kids trust themselves.
The counselors bring Robin in when they know it'll be a particularly difficult conversation or meeting. But the kids love the animals on campus. They have a program where they actually can tell a secret to a horse and a cat that just hangs out in the gym. It's all meant to put the kids at ease and give them a safe space where they can just be themselves.
Coming up next, the sun is shining in Atlanta. The sun is shining as well out in Hampton. Big race weekend ahead. We unfortunately do have some showers that could impact part of that. We'll break down that and more on today's record heat. That's coming up in your 11Alive weather impact forecast ahead.
Back, we get to more breaking news. President Donald Trump speaking now in Rome at Coosa Steel in North Georgia. You see him there on the screen walking up to the stage, Ron.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, he's going to be talking about affordability. He has a lot of supporters there. Let's listen in.
The hills of Tennessee, across the plains.
And it looks like he is still greeting the crowd there up in North Georgia. This is District 14. Rome, Georgia, the former district of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron, who resigned late last year after a falling out with President Trump.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump have had a mixed relationship.
Yeah, they had a mixed relationship. I mean, she was all behind him in the early years, of course, and then lately he has called her some disparaging words, you know, and because of that, they've had this falling out.
That's right. That's right. A big crux of this was the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene continuing to calling for the release of the files, even standing outside at a press conference with many survivors behind her. And this was one of the points that really caused a bit of contention between the two.
Yeah.
She resigned late last year. Her last day in office was in January, and now we have a very crowded field of candidates wanting to replace her. It started off as 22 people, Ron, That is now down to 18. Most are Republicans, a couple of Democrats there, but this is a very red stronghold. You see out in the crowd right now the abundance of red hats, American flags, jobs, 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 because he's also supposed to speak on the economy today.
Yeah, that's right, because he's going to focus on affordability, but you talked about the candidates here as well. A huge field of candidates, right? And of course, we've got Election Day coming up, but a lot of folks are probably anticipating that it is going to turn into a runoff.
That's right, exactly, because of course here in Georgia, if you don't have 50% or more of the vote, that will go to a runoff with all of these candidates. It is likely that it could go to a runoff. President Trump is at the podium right now. Let's listen in.
It's great to see a vibrant place like this. As you know, about a year and a half ago, it wasn't so vibrant. I'm looking at all this brand new steel and equipment that just went up because of our tariffs, because of our president, but because of our tariffs. And I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia with the men and women of an incredible American company, the Coosa Steel Corporation. For more than 50 years, the hardworking Americans at Coosa Steel have poured out their sweat and blood and tears to turn into what, look, you wanted to take raw material and you wanted to take beautiful metal and you wanted to turn it into the highest quality steel racks and plates in the business, all stamped with those really beautiful words. You don't see it too much, but now you do again, made in the USA, right? And this company prospered and grew from humble beginnings in a Georgia manufacturing. What happened is you became, in a very short while, a Georgia manufacturing giant. But then you watched your core business start to fade. I just spoke to your great owner, and he's great, but he got hit by stupid politicians, basically, making specialized steel tire racks dwindle from 2 bustling shifts to 6 days a week down to 1 shift and 1 hour. 1 hour a week. Then you went back up to 2 days, then you went back to 3 days, then you went back to 1 day, then you went down to 1 hour. Because all the business was going to China and other countries from outside. And it wasn't only here, it was other plants also. I assume your friends, likewise, were having the same problem. Your jobs were being stolen as foreign nations dumped their subsidized products. Don't forget China and these other countries, they pay for it. It's all subsidized. You don't get too much subsidy. But they dropped the subsidized products on our market to try and put Americans out of business, and that's what they were doing. You're lucky you have a man that is so proud of this place. He kept it going, barely kept it going. It wasn't easy. You're a lucky guy. But now, thanks to the fact that we got elected on November 5th, and thanks to what I call the Trump tariffs, business at Coosa Steel is booming again. We just spoke, it's booming. And in October, you received your first large order for tire racks since 2014. It was a big, massive order. In fact, this great man right here thought that they made a mistake. He said it can't be possible. No, it's called tariffs. I said, my favorite word in the whole dictionary is tariff, and I got in trouble with, look at all the fake news back there. Look at them. I got in trouble. No, I got in trouble with them because I said, tariff is my favorite word in the whole dictionary. They said, what about family? What about God? What about wife, children? I said, all right, it's my 5th favorite word. Now I'm okay. They've treated me okay since I did that. They didn't like it one, but it's my 5th favorite word in the dictionary. You're back, you're producing at full speed, 2 shifts a day, and he's going to 3 shifts a day, 6 days a week. And you've got a backlog now that's 7 months long. What a difference. From a couple of hours a week to 7 months long. And it's all because you finally have a president who put America first. That's what it is. But it's also because I imposed powerful 50% tariffs on foreign steel where they were coming in and dumping crap all over our country. I ended every one of the Biden-era exemptions, and on August 18th, I added new tariffs to cover 400 derivative products, including steel racks, which is what you make. So I say congratulations, and what a great comeback. This is a comeback that 2 years ago, right? You were almost, I don't want to say out of business, but you were almost out of business. I guess he said you can say it. You were close. He was borderline. Started telling his wife, let's have tuna fish tonight, darling. Forget about the steak. But stories like this companies are right now playing out in cities all around the country, towns, villages, all over the country. And to think I have to be in the United States Supreme Court for many, many months, waiting for a decision on tariffs. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now. Without tariffs, this country would be like your company was 2 years ago.
President Donald Trump speaking at Coosa Steel up in Rome, Georgia, the former district of Marjorie Taylor Greene, the former congresswoman, as voters there seek to pick her successor. But you are seeing President Trump coming here to Georgia, speaking on jobs, speaking on the economy. He said he was happy to see the steel with the words "Made in the USA," thanks to Trump tariffs, because he's really pushing for more business to come back here to the States. Joining us at the desk to analyze the portion of this speech that we just heard, as well as President Trump's visit to Georgia at the beginning of a very contentious midterm year, Zach Merchant, my co-anchor of the Georgia Vote.
Very interesting, and that speech is ongoing right now. I suspect if you want to continue to watch it in full, that will be available elsewhere here on the 11Alive Plus streaming app. But as we watch, we all were listening in as we watch, and we're going to have a conversation between all three of us here because we all were watching along together. But before President Trump got up to the podium, it's also notable who was there. You saw Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones delivered sort of the warm-up to the warm-up speech. He is the Trump-endorsed candidate in the governor's race. And then you saw Clay Fuller, who, as Ron, you pointed out earlier, Faith, you did as well, a big crowd of candidates running to replace Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's now vacated seat. Clay Fuller, the DA in the Lookout Judicial Circuit, the Lookout Mountain Circuit, and he is the Trump-endorsed candidate in that race. Waiting, though, at this point to see if Trump mentions that race in his remarks from the podium there at Coosa Steel.
Do you think it's going to be, I mean, obviously it's a huge impact anytime you have the President of the United States to be there to endorse whoever that candidate is going to be. Do you think it's going to be a big impact when he makes that endorsement?
Yeah, and he already has in this race. It is such a crowded field, though.
Yeah.
It's almost a question of not if, but when the runoff happens. Yeah. But if you are a Republican in this really big crowd of Republicans, getting the president's endorsement, it can help you go a long way, particularly in a district that has shown it is deeply conservative and very supportive of the president.
And I was going to say, not just conservative, but you said that part, and that's, I think, that the key is that the people in this district, even though former Congresswoman Greene and President Trump had some falling out, you go up there and you talk to them, and they like Congresswoman Greene. They also like President Trump. Right. So that endorsement is definitely going to have some weight there. We're going to continue to listen in on the president's speech. I know Zach is very busy also analyzing what is happening here. One thing we did not see is a Senate candidate because the president has not endorsed.
No endorsement there, although one of the candidates, at least we know one of them, was there in the crowd, and that's Congressman Mike Collins. We don't know if Buddy Carter, another congressman, or Derek Dooley, former football coach, were there as well.
All right,
big
Zach.
election year.
Yeah, it is a big election. And I know you two are going to be on top of it for us here at 11Alive on 11Alive Plus. We really appreciate what you bring to the table here, Zach. All right, we're going to move forward now, and I guess we're going to be looking at that weather impact forecast. And it feels more like spring out there than it does the winter, even though don't let the funk fool you, so to speak, because it is still winter right now.
We are indeed still dealing with winter, but right now it does not feel like it. Faith and Ron, we've just set a new record here in Atlanta today, waiting on the final climate report to come out. But as of right now, we are at 79 degrees. That feels a lot more like end of April, early May outside. It's 83 in Rome right now, 81 in Eatonton. very warm weather. And the old record, 78 from 1891. So we've now broken a record from 135 years ago. We'll see if that 5 o'clock temperature that comes out is still 79, or maybe it could bounce up one more degree. We had clouds this morning. Those have thinned out. What I'm tracking, though, for tomorrow is the return of showers and even isolated thunderstorms. It's from this storm system to our north. Several severe weather warned storms ongoing right now. That big red box is a tornado watch ongoing for parts of Kentucky and Indiana and Illinois. Our next front, that front arrives here tomorrow with some scattered showers and even a few isolated thunderstorms. We're already going to see some of these around for the morning commute. We'll time them out ahead.
Well, there is an ongoing debate on the campus of Morehouse surrounding the unveiling of a portrait inside the college's chapel's International Hall of Honor.
Yeah, so we're talking about an oil painting of Joseph Smith. He's the founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's at the center of this controversy. 11Alive's race, culture, and religion reporter Danielle Nottingham spoke with one of the students who's fighting to actually stop the painting from going on display. So Danielle, why is it drawing so much reaction? Strong reaction.
Yeah, well, Ron, supporters call it a reflection of interfaith engagement. Critics question whether the Mormon leader represents the values of the historically black college. The oil painting was unveiled on February 1st and is scheduled to go on display this April inside the chapel's International Hall of Honor, which houses hundreds of portraits of global leaders and prominent figures. During the unveiling ceremony, the chapel's dean praised Smith, citing his 1844 presidential campaign platform that included a proposal to abolish slavery, describing it as morally ambitious. However, some students and alumni point to Smith's past statements supporting slavery, as well as the church's history of denying black members full participation. The president of the Chapel Assistance Program says he was blindsided by the timing of the unveiling and the ceremony honoring Joseph Smith.
It was very weird that his stance didn't come until he ran for president. I thought that was very weird. I thought it was very weird that he did not stop his church from owning slaves. And then if you talk to Brigham Young said he got the ideas from Joseph Smith. So I just thought that was very weird. I thought it was very disrespectful, not only to Morehouse College, but to Atlanta, to the whole AUC of Black History Month. The first day of it, that's how we started.
And Morehouse has not indicated plans to reverse course and return the portrait. We reached out to the college for comment and have not yet received a response. Other figures honored in the International Hall of Honor include Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela. Live in the newsroom, Danielle Nottingham, 11Alive News.
Hey, it's a very interesting perspective. Really glad that we were able to hear from that young man. Danielle, thank you so much for bringing us this story. Coming up next here, these tiny treasures are making a very big impact right here in Atlanta. How they are helping to build friendships along the way. Don't go anywhere. You are streaming live on 11Alive Plus. Hey, welcome back. The Atlanta Hawks bringing the energy back with their second annual Culture Fest. That is going down this weekend. Culture Fest all about celebrating African, Caribbean, Hispanic, and Latin communities that help us to define Atlanta's culture. It's happening tomorrow when the Hawks take on the Miami Heat at State Farm Arena. The first 5,000 fans in the house, you'll be going home with a limited edition reversible bucket hat. And the event will also feature a pregame parade, music from some of Atlanta's top DJs, and of course a halftime show paying tribute to the culture. Tickets are still available. It's going to be a lot of fun there. Well, the Olympics may happen every few years, but for a dedicated group in Atlanta, the games never end.
That's right. So 11Alive Shore Preheim shows us how small keepsakes can bring in a huge crowd.
They're small, shiny, and packed with history. And in Atlanta, this unofficial Olympic sport just keeps getting more popular.
I started in 1996 during the Atlanta Games. I've always loved the Olympics.
Scott Reed is a pro at tracking down rare pins.
But the hardest pin to get was the Madagascar pin from the Atlanta Games. That was the last one that helped me finish my collection of the countries.
And he's an avid contributor to Atlanta's pin collecting community.
I love travel and sports and history. So if you think about it, put those three together and they fit the Olympics perfectly.
Reed and the group gets together once a month for trades. This is part of a tradition that started when Atlanta hosted the '96 Summer Olympics. They've been going strong now for nearly 3 decades. These pins aren't just collectibles, they are connections.
When I think of the Olympics I've been to 6, and there are people that have been to a lot more than me. What I remember most from every single game I've been to are interactions with other people from all over the world.
Even during tough times, like a global pandemic, this community came together. Reed says it's a testament to how trading is only a piece of this pastime.
I think it was because people came, it was a place to get away from the world, to see friends, to relax, to just put your cares behind you for a while.
Their monthly meetups got them ready for the Winter Games.
Let's put these out. These are 2 Charles Fazzino pins that are brand new for Milan.
Eager to see what great finds they'd uncover here in Milan. Reed says it's never too late to get started because the real value are the relationships you build, one pin at a time.
I've attended weddings, graduations, funerals of people that I've met through pin trading, and it goes well beyond the Olympics themselves.
Cheryl Preheim, 11Alive News.
Winter Olympics coverage live right here on 11Alive show. Preheim is in Milan bringing you the latest from the games. You can watch it on 11Alive and stream right here anytime on 11Alive Plus.
From ice cold at the Winter Olympics to really hot right now outside. It does not feel like a typical February day. We've made it up to 79 so far. It's humid, it's breezy outside, and we have now broken the record high from 135 years ago for your Thursday. The warmth lasts a little longer, but I'm also tracking the return of showers and even some isolated storms. You can see the clear skies over North Georgia right now. Here's our storm system to the north, and it's producing severe weather right now. Big severe weather risk this evening through the Ohio Valley, the Corn Belt. As we push towards tomorrow and Saturday, that front drapes to North Georgia. We don't expect widespread organized severe weather. I'm really not concerned tomorrow overall. It would be more Saturday, kind of mid-morning through early afternoon, an isolated stronger storm with gusty winds south of I-20. Forecast track hour by hour. Clouds build back in tonight. By tomorrow morning, some scattered showers, few downpours come in for the morning commute. There could be some pockets of heavy rain, few rumbles of thunder. We'll see some dry slots in the afternoon tomorrow, and then clouds, rain build back in again for the start of the weekend. So Saturday, more of those scattered downpours in the morning. Some areas of locally heavy rain develop, and it'll be that cluster of thunderstorms we watch for an isolated stronger storm in addition to repeated rounds of heavy rainfall. So that's with us through Saturday, kind of early afternoon. It will clear out, and then we'll see dry skies, but colder air returning the second half of the weekend. You can see those higher rain chances tomorrow morning, lower rain chance tomorrow afternoon, high of 75. The record for your Friday is 78 degrees. Scattered showers, isolated storms on Saturday. Look at Sunday. A lot of colder out there. It'll be a chilly day at Echo Park Speedway with those temperatures falling down from the 50s into the 40s during the race there. Some sub-freezing temperatures Monday, Tuesday mornings. Then we'll dig out of that hole back to the 60s by the mid to latter part of next week.
Hey folks, we got some breaking news out of Gwinnett County. We're following police activity on Oak Tree Park Court in Lawrenceville. Details are really limited, but we do know that someone has been shot. We have a crew headed to the scene right now. As soon as we learn more information, we will get it to you. Fulton County is receiving additional funds to tackle the opioid epidemic. The money comes from Georgia's portion of the national settlement with pharmaceutical companies tied to overprescribing painkillers. Here's 11Alive Joe Ripley with how it's going to help.
Folks are potentially getting addicted to opiates without even knowing it.
Tracy George has seen the rise in the opioid epidemic for the last 20 years. She serves as clinical director with A Sense of Health.
We do treat folks in residential and outpatient for addiction and mental health. We also provide withdrawal management.
A Sense of Health and 4 other programs are getting a boost for more than $640,000 in opioid settlement funds given out by Fulton County. George says Asensa will use the funds to expand their ambulatory detox program to reach folks with limiting circumstances like disabilities or work conflicts.
In terms of overdoses, over the last couple of years, we know that the numbers are decreasing.
Fulton County opioid coordinator Lynette Allen says despite the progress in lower overdose deaths, there's still concern for any drugs laced with fentanyl and for those dealing with pain.
They may take a few extra pills to ease the pain, but it can also be that gateway to them becoming addicted.
Allen says Fulton County has resources available for those in need, including a free 24/7 text for helpline, drug disposal boxes, lock boxes, and treatment through Grady Health.
Kids lose their parents to this. I've seen parents lose their children, and so it really hits close to my heart to be able to do this work and continue to do it.
For George, these funds power the fight against an issue that's not going away anytime soon.
It's always worth the fight to be able to save just one life.
Joe Ripley, 11Alive News.
By the way, Georgia is directing 75% of its opioid settlement funds to rural areas. Now, Fulton County is putting its funding toward treatment and recovery efforts. Coming up on 11Alive News at 5. We've got a live look right now. This is in Rome at Cusa Steel, where President Donald Trump is speaking to his supporters. We're going to have more from that coming up on 11Alive News at 5. Stay with us.
There's like a flat one, which is the sun things. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the solar panels, and then there's a flatter one.
Hey, this is a mic check. Are we live or are we on plus for 5?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
okay.
see it?
Thanks.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Chances are pretty high. Hey, Chris, this is Mike, 1, 2, 3. Like, we're waiting, right, for this to end, skating? Yes. Because I'm out here watching the score.
Nine, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're welcome.
Hello, check, check, check. They're saying more audio too.
11Alive
11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities.
Breaking news tonight at 5. Thanks so much for joining us here on 11Alive and streaming with us on 11Alive Plus.
Well, officers in Gwinnett County, they're investigating a shooting involving police. They say that shooting happened in Lawrenceville, right here on Oak Tree Park Court. We do have a crew headed to that scene. We are working to get more information about exactly what happened here. When we get those updates, we'll make sure to bring them to you.
Also breaking right now, President Donald Trump is on the ground in Floyd County, speaking right now from the Coosa Steel Corporation in Rome. Let's listen in.
I think she said thank you, but she ran another race a couple of years later. She didn't win. She never asked me for help. That was a mistake. But she won. And then Ossoff somehow got involved in the Senate race. I said, no, he's easy to beat. He's a real stiff. Real stiff. You know what a stiff is? He's a real stiff. We don't want people like that representing Georgia. Who would think that Georgia has a stiff? Anyway, And with us today are some of the amazing warriors who, unlike ourselves, have stood up for the people of Georgia, including Congressman Brian Jack, Mike Collins, and Barry Loudermilk. You guys out? Come up, fellas, come up. I gotta get these guys up. These are great people. Come on up. Proud of everything. They're warriors. But Loudermilk is going to take it easy now. I can't believe it. She's leaving. I can't believe it. We want him to stay. Say hello, fellas. Come on, Barry.
Mr. President, as I was sitting out there and I was looking back here at the crane, you remember first term we were all on the Trump
As
train.
President Donald Trump addresses a crowd at the Coosa Steel Corporation in Rome, Georgia. We do obviously have a crew there on the ground. We'll bring you updates from the president's visit. Meanwhile, Georgia Democrats quick to respond to this trip, including those running for governor. We want to bring in Zach Merchant, the co-anchor of Sunday morning's The Georgia Vote. Zach, to nobody's surprise here, prominent Georgia Democrats don't see things as the president does here.
Yeah, it is a predictable differentiation in perspectives we've been hearing from the president for the better part of the last hour or so. The Georgia Democratic Party with a very different view of things. They said in a statement today that President Trump's economic policies have failed Georgians and stuck them with paying higher costs. Earlier today, I also asked Jeff Duncan, who's a Democratic candidate for governor and former Republican lieutenant governor of Georgia, what his message to the president would be.
Well, my message would be focus on the three things that a majority of Georgians are worried about, including Republicans. Talk about the affordability crisis. Talk about the health care crisis. And please start unwinding some of these horrific, toxic policies like ICE raids, tariffs, and all the other things that are causing harm in people's lives and businesses in Georgia.
Last night, another Democratic candidate for governor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former Atlanta mayor, she said for an interview on MS Now. She was asked about the FBI's raid on a Fulton County election hub and said that the president's unproven claims of voter fraud in Georgia will hurt him and the Republican Party this year.
What he is doing, I can guarantee you, will backfire. We've seen record turnout in the state. And I know we will see it again in 2026 because people are angry. They want to fight back.
And there is this from Democratic candidate for governor, Jason Estevez, a former state senator. He released a statement about the president's visit today in Georgia, saying in part, quote, he promised to lower costs, but is instead focused on unleashing political violence and attacking our democracy. That stops when I'm governor. I'll use every tool I have to fight back. Now, there is a debate scheduled tonight featuring the Democratic Party candidates for Georgia governor. It is in DeKalb County at Chamblee High School. Estevez, Bottoms, and Duncan are advertised to be a part of that forum, along with former DeKalb CEO Mike Thurman, State Representative Ruel Roman, State Representative Derek Jackson, and Pastor Olu Brown. A very busy day of politics right here in Georgia, guys.
Let's get a check of your 11 Alive weather impact forecast. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb joining us on a record-breaking day, Christopher.
We did it. Yes, we broke a record today. The record for today's date is 78 degrees, and that was set in 1891. Today we hit 79. We broke a record that is 135 years old. That's kind of crazy here. It was that warm out there, where we had some sunshine breaking through the clouds a little bit later on today. The average high for this time of year, 59 degrees. So yeah, we were 29 degrees warmer than we should be here for this time of year. Now, we've also been watching the cloud cover out there. We've had a few spotty showers, not a lot of rain. We told you yesterday we would have about a 20% chance for some isolated showers today. And that's pretty much all we saw. Just a couple little blips on the radar here and there to give us just a few of those showers. Most of us stayed dry. And as you can see, the clouds that we had a little bit earlier, they're breaking up a little bit more to give us some sunshine here and there. Watching storms up to the north of us. Luckily, those are going to stay to the north of us. But tomorrow and also into Saturday, we are going to be watching more rain here and also the potential for a couple of thunderstorms to develop. We'll talk more about the timing of that and if any of those could turn severe. More on that in just a few minutes.
Up next, what new documents are revealing about what happened in the moments before a 2-year-old died in an accidental shooting in Sandy Springs.
Hey, don't forget, we are streaming all day on 11 Alive Plus. Download the app for free to your smart TV.
Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11 Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11 Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team on 11 Alive News and 11 Alive.
The 11 Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11 Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11 Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11 Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11 Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11 Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11 Alive and 11 Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11 Alive and 11 Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11 Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11 Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11 Alive.
Well, the man convicted of killing a UGA law student 25 years ago will learn his fate tonight. A sentencing hearing happening right now for Edric Fost. And in 2001, Tara Baker was found murdered inside her burned apartment. A jury found Fost guilty on all counts earlier this week. Her family, very emotional this afternoon in court. Tara's brothers and sisters gave victim statements. Her mother was so broken up, that she actually had to have her son-in-law read her statement for her.
Question that never leaves me is why. I have asked God this question thousands of times. I still have no complete answer, and the pain remains. As a mother, I cannot bear the image of Tara dying alone, frightened, calling for help that never came. Night after night, I dream of carrying her burned and broken body, walking endless roads, trying desperately to find someone who could help.
Right now, the state is asking for 2 life sentences. Fost's family also spoke out in court asking the judge to consider a more lenient sentence. We'll let you know when that sentencing is handed down.
Tonight, more testimony in the trial for Colin Gray, the father accused of the accused Appalachia school shooter Colt Gray.
And today, the prosecution is changing their focus to the warning signs they allege Colin ignored about his son's mental state. Let's get straight to Marissa Sarbach, who is joining us in Barrow County tonight. Marissa, you've been following this very closely. Who did we hear from today in the courtroom?
Faith, Jennifer, court has adjourned for the day, but really we saw such a shift in the prosecution today. This is the first time that they have really started to make their case against Colin Gray, saying he had sufficient warning that his son, Colt Gray, would harm others. Today, this afternoon, we heard from a therapist who took the stand and said Colin Gray actually reached out for help with Colt Gray, but never followed through.
It says I'm a working dad of 3. Colt is my oldest 14-year-old. We've had a very volatile, difficult past couple of years, and he needs help. Anger, anxiety, quick to be volatile. I don't know what to do. I have United Healthcare. Can you help? Thanks.
Did he ever respond to that
email with an email or a phone call?
No, he did not.
Did he ever come by your office?
No, he did not.
At any point, did you ever see Colt for any sort of counseling services?
No, I did not.
We saw body camera video from a visit Jackson County deputies made to the Gray home back in May 2023 after the FBI investigated Colt for allegedly making threats about shooting up a school in an online chat room. First, the deputies spoke with Colin and then Colt, who denied making those threats online. One of the deputies testified today they never followed up with the Gray family again because they couldn't prove the online threats came from Colt. The prosecution also showed the jury body cam video from Colin Gray interacting with law enforcement at his home on the day of the shooting.
God. I knew it when my little girl just texted me. She's in middle school. She said, we're in lockdown. I'm like, God, I'm like, please tell me better, do something.
We also saw multiple DFCS employees take the stand today, arguing that there were many problems in the Colt Gray family home and that they had been going on for years. Again, court has adjourned for the day, but it resumes tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Reporting live outside Barrow County Court, Marissa Sarbach for 11Alive News.
All right, Marissa, thank you for keeping us updated there. Additional information on the accidental shooting death of a 2-year-old in Sandy Springs.
That's right. New documents reveal what happened in the moments leading up to that shooting. So police say that the child died after he accidentally shot himself with his father's gun. Those warrants show that the weapon was in a fanny pack on the bed in the master bedroom. And according to the documents, the child was sent to that bedroom to take a nap. Minutes later, the parents heard that gun go off. Richard Willis is now charged with second-degree murder and cruelty to children.
We have a really warm day out there today. We mentioned earlier we broke the record getting up to 79 degrees. It's going to be another warm day tomorrow, but we think around 75, which will be just below the record high for tomorrow's date. We've been watching radar tonight. Not anything showing up on radar right now, but we'll put this loop in here for the past 6 hours, and you can see that we had a couple of little spotty showers around. We'll zoom in a little bit tighter. We had one that moved through Cobb County, a couple that passed through the metro area here, but they were very small. Most of us didn't get impacted by that at all. I'm adding the clouds on so you can still see we have some clouds in parts of North Georgia, also over to the west of us, and even a few of those clouds here in Atlanta. Look at these storms. There's a tornado watch in effect for parts of Kentucky, southern areas of Illinois, and also into parts of Indiana as well. Even look at this here. We have some tornado warnings there. One of those even a confirmed tornado warning as well up in that area of the Midwest. Nothing like that happening here. After hitting 79 last hour for our high, we're now at 78. It's also 78 in Marietta. Look at these upper 70s here and even some lower 70s up in North Georgia. Rome right now checking in at 83 degrees. Athens also broke a record out there for today. It's going to be a mild start in the morning, and really the morning hours tomorrow will be the time frame most likely to see a few showers. We'll see clouds breaking up during the day, still not taking away the total rain chances, but it does go down to 20% in the afternoon with highs right there at 75 degrees. So here's what we're watching. You see some of those clouds out there tonight. Tomorrow in the morning, we're watching this band of rain that'll move through, and then once it passes through, it'll dry out for a bit, and then there's a couple of spotty showers later on in the afternoon. Then on Saturday, another chance for showers. A couple thunderstorms are possible, highs near 70. It gets cold after that. 51 for a high Sunday. Look at the lows in the 20s. Monday and Tuesday morning, highs only in the 40s Monday, then back to the 50s Tuesday, 60s for Wednesday and Thursday with another rain chance Thursday afternoon.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much. And we are taking a live look tonight over the Buford Spring connector near I-85. No issues in this area, at least not for those heading north. The ride looks a little thick on the southern side. We'll, of course, keep an eye on all of the traffic for you and let you know about anything you need to be aware of. And don't forget, we are streaming for you all day on 11Alive Plus. You can download the app for free on your smart TV.
Safety. 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities
Well, what's up, folks? Marcus Greaves in with your sports. Atlanta United opens the season Saturday on the road at Cincinnati, and the team is looking to start this season the right way. And after last season's disaster, things have to get better from here. The Five Stripes made plenty of changes throughout the offseason, but none as big as bringing back the club's first ever head coach, Tata Martino, for a second stint. Tata told reporters today, this is a brand new season and a brand new team with a different mentality.
Even though it's a lot of the same players, it's a new season. We've also added players. It's a new coaching staff. So there's a lot of differences. Or it's a new year. But also when we talk about competing, it's about not just competing the first 4 months, but it's about competing throughout the whole season.
And the Hawks are back from the All-Star break tonight. They are in Philly to play the Sixers. After this game, the Hawks return home for 5 straight games.
And we hope that we get 5 straight W's.
Absolutely.
Marcus, thank you so much. Hey, don't forget, we're streaming all during the day on 11Alive Plus. Download the app for free to your smart TV. We'll be right back.
11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer, because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
Breaking news tonight at 5:30. Thanks so much for joining us here on 11Alive and streaming with us on 11Alive Plus.
Yeah, officers in Gwinnett County are investigating a shooting involving police. They say it happened in Lawrenceville on Oak Tree Park Court. We do have a crew headed to the scene. We are working to get more information about what exactly led to the shooting and what happened here. We'll bring you those updates when they come in.
And right now, a live look from Rome, Georgia, where President Donald Trump is speaking at an event at Coosa Steel. In his remarks, the president railed against the fact that he has to justify tariffs before the Supreme Court, calling lawsuits against his administration on tariffs a disgrace.
Yeah, the president is visiting the congressional district previously represented by former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was a former supporter who resigned in January. She resigned actually late last year. Her last day was in January after feuding with the president.
Insurance companies anymore. We should pay the trillions of dollars directly to the people and let the people buy their own health care. Put it in a health care account. And people loved it, and we're looking at it. The problem is the Democrats are totally bought off and taken care of by the insurance companies, so they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it because they're captive to the insurance companies. Under our most favored nation agreements, and this is the thing that I think every Republican should win on, even if you hate them in every other way. Agreements for drug prices, that we're slashing drug prices by 400, 500, even 600%. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Because we were paying the highest drug prices in the world, and now we're paying whatever the lowest price is in the world. That's the price we're paying. And to do that was also tariffs. I called countries. When I finally got the healthcare companies, the people that make the drugs to do it, and remember, that's going to lower your healthcare because medicine's a big part of the drugs, and it's coming down at numbers like that. But I got the drug companies to do it, and then they said, doesn't matter, you'll never get the countries to do it, because the countries had to agree. So a pill that's selling for $10 in New York is selling, let's say in London, in New York is selling for $130, 13 times more. Think of that, 13 times more. So they said, there's no way they'll ever do it. I said, yes, there is, 100%. I started calling the heads of countries, like France, Emmanuel Macron, he's a good guy. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to double the price of see, the world is bigger, so you don't have to bring it up like to the middle. They would have to double or triple the price, but that's a lot for a politician. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to lift your price by double or triple.
You're listening in to President Donald Trump give remarks at Coosa Steel up in North Georgia, the district formerly held by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Residents there will be electing her successor, but he's taking the stage here, visiting, speaking on affordability, jobs, and the economy. He's also touched on this midterm year with several candidates joining him on stage, including Senate candidate Mike Collins, governor candidate Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, and Clay Fuller, a candidate for the District 14 seat. Well, the man convicted of killing a UGA law student 25 years ago will spend the rest of his life in prison. Edric Fost was just sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences plus 45 years. He is charged in the 2001 murder of Tara Baker. She was found murdered inside of a burned apartment. A jury found Fost guilty on all counts earlier this week. Well, a contractor accused of taking money for the job and then pocketing it for himself has now been charged with 6 felony counts. But this didn't happen after a police investigation. Senior investigator Rebecca Lindstrom joins us with the little-known tool anyone can use to hold someone accountable.
We're talking about private arrest warrants. Police appear before magistrate judges all of the time to get permission to make an arrest. But in Georgia, citizens can do the same thing. Nikki Arntz hired a contractor to build her retirement home in White County. But she says she noticed the money meant to pay for things like the kitchen cupboards and the HVAC system weren't making it to the vendors. She was being asked instead to pay twice. Well, police called it a civil matter, essentially breach of contract. But when she found other people complaining about the same problem, she was convinced the contractor, Larry Shepard, was stealing. She made her case to a magistrate judge who agreed there was probable cause, arresting Shepard and sending the recommended charges to the DA. This past week, her case went before a grand jury.
Maybe me getting this involved, I've been able to kind of not control it, but help it along the way more than if maybe there was just a police report and it sat there and a warrant was there and nothing ever happened. Like the other 2 warrants that are sitting out there and nothing has happened, you know? So I guess it's a blessing in disguise, really.
Those other warrants she mentioned are in Franklin and Gilmer counties. We reached out to Shepard, but he declined to comment on the 6 felony counts he now faces, all related to theft. We cover so many cases that seem like a crime, but police won't get involved. That is why we wanted to let viewers know about this tool. The process differs by county, and just because you make the request doesn't mean you will win. Our study of 4 metro counties found of the nearly 12,000 applications filed in the past 3 years, less than 30% ended with a warrant. The person accused does get to appear in court with you to defend themselves. But the next time Shepard explains what happened to Nikki's money, it will be before a jury.
Still ahead, questions surround the death of a Georgia inmate, why attorneys are pushing for answers. And don't forget, you can always catch us whenever you want, streaming live on 11Alive. Plus, it's free to download on your smart TV.
We get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive weather impact team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need.
Tonight, civil rights attorney Ben Crump calling for accountability surrounding the death of a man at a Georgia prison.
21-year-old Javian Benham died in December at the Valdosta State Prison. The Lance County coroner says he was dead for 2 days before he was found. Tonight, attorneys say they are still investigating the case. They say despite Benham being in solitary confinement, he was actually placed with a man who they say is a member of the Georgia Ghostface gang, known for white supremacy.
When different inmates are put into different tiers, it's so that the employees and everybody who is part of the system can understand this inmate is considered dangerous, violent, and has certain needs to be isolated.
We also heard from his mother, who was in Iowa when she got the news.
It's about everybody else that has to go through this. This is a mother's worst nightmare. And I don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Attorneys say there were constitutional and state violations in this death, and they say they are working to file notices. The death has been ruled a homicide, but attorneys say the inmate who was in that cell with Benham has not yet been charged.
Record-breaking heat out there today and a couple little showers. We are watching the rain chances going up and keeping an eye on those severe storms to the north and whether or not that will increase our severe weather risk.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
Ice theater may look effortless, but behind the scenes, it takes months of choreography, trust, and teamwork.
And Atlanta Ice Theater brings together skaters of all ages and experience levels to tell a single story, and that collaboration paid off in 2024 when local teams became world champions. Right on. Tonight, we are taking you behind the scenes, and you may see a familiar face.
Theater on ice is a combination of all the best aspects of figure skating. So it's the jumps and spins that everybody loves. It's the ice dance moves and lifts that everybody loves. It can be crazy pair things that people look like daredevils, as well as amazing choreography. We can have 8 to 24 skaters on the ice at the same time, and they all have to maintain their spacing, and they have to work together to tell a story together.
The hardest part for me is starting over, but when you break it down in smaller pieces, picking the different parts of music and picking the different parts of costumes and scenery just really helps it come together.
It starts out really crazy, but it really unfolds into this crazy masterpiece that we all contribute to.
I started in my 20s.
I'm a college student, second year at Emory. I'm studying neuroscience.
I'm a double major in dance and film and media production.
I was not a sports person as a child. I was definitely more an academic. So being part of a team sport in general is already a little wild.
Skating is literally, it is my break, my mental break, my physical break from school where I can reset.
I will never forget when we had our Banksy program with the girl with the red balloon, and we were performing it at the Adult Gold Cup in France.
You could hear a pin drop.
To hear that silence, ooh, I'm getting chills.
We went from having no idea what we were doing to being national champions in 2024.
It was everything I wanted as a kid. My inner 12-year-old is just so happy.
Being able to represent the U.S. again and again, like this is our third year now going to Adult Gold Cup. And then this time I feel like we're kind of pros going around, and I feel more prepared this time. I feel more hungry. I feel like we know how to get the job done.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. People who know me in real life say, "What, you ice skate?" I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of good. So.
So much fun, and maybe you noticed our own Grace King there. She is a phenomenal ice skater.
I like to tell her she is graceful on the ice. Graceful and elegant.
As always.
Well, it doesn't feel a lot like the Winter Olympics out there as we have some really warm air around. We broke a record getting up to 79 degrees today. We were tracking a couple little showers here and there, not a lot of rain. We only had a 20% chance for a shower today, and you can pretty much see just a few of those little spotty areas that came through earlier. Most of us did stay dry. We also have a few clouds, some of those clouds breaking up to give us some sunshine. Other areas to the west of us have a better coverage of clouds right now. And we're watching these storms to the north, moving through parts of Kentucky, also Illinois and Indiana, where they have some tornado warnings in effect, also a tornado watch. We're keeping an eye on this system because that's the area tonight where we have that bullseye of a severe weather threat, a level 3 risk there. Of course, that won't impact us here for tonight. Tomorrow, though, we are going to see some instability moving into our area. A lot of that energy to the north will move to the north, but we'll have some additional energy holding together coming in here with some instability tomorrow. In the morning, the potential for a couple of thunderstorms. I'm not overly impressed with this level 1 risk. I think our chances for anything severe on Friday would be very low. We also have a low risk for any isolated stronger storms on Saturday. I also think that would be earlier in the day and also more down to the south, where there could be on the south side on Saturday a few other showers and storms that could develop later on in the day as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for you both on Friday and Saturday. Here's the forecast track showing just a few of those clouds. This is what we've been talking about, that southerly flow transporting that really warm air into our area and also bringing us a little bit of moisture. Here you see on Friday morning, this is at 7 o'clock, this line of showers developing. That's where we could see a couple of thunderstorms early in the morning sweeping through the metro area. I'm thinking by lunchtime, a lot of that is going to be down on the south side. And then that pretty much stays down to the south for a big part of the afternoon. Then late afternoon, maybe a couple of other spotty showers. And then going into Saturday, another area of rain comes in. That could also give us a couple of storms throughout the morning hours. After lunch, that'll be mainly down to the south of us. And then watching later on in the afternoon, more of those storms possible on the south side. So it's not going to be a washout both Friday and Saturday.
But both days we might have to dodge some showers here and there, so just be flexible during the day. On Sunday, look at these arrows now coming out of the north and west, and that's going to bring in some much colder air. Sunday's highs are going to be in the lower 50s, and then Monday and Tuesday morning, we're going to be down into the 20s. So take a look at these rain chances we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. 40% chance for showers Friday, 60% chance Saturday, drying out Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but with that drier air, it's also going to be colder. So there you see 75 tomorrow, 40% chance for showers, 60% chance Saturday, a couple thunderstorms possible, highs near 70. Here comes the colder air. 51 Sunday, look at those lows in the 20s Monday and Tuesday. Then we're back to the 60s on Wednesday and on Thursday. Here's a look at your weather wow moment. Kathleen Stewart sent this to us from Alpharetta. A lot of folks seeing some trees and bushes blooming out there with this warm air. But then it's going to get cold again. Thanks for Kathleen for sending that to us. If you want to be a part of our 11Alive Weather Impact Team on Facebook, just search 11Alive Weather Impact Team. When you find our group, click the link to become a member and answer the membership questions, and you can join us.
We are staying on top of breaking news. This is a live look from Oak Tree Park Court in Lawrenceville. Police called out there around 3:45 for a domestic violence call. Police say an officer ended up shooting a man. It's not clear right now what led up to that. Police say the man was taken to the hospital, but all officers involved are okay. We're continuing to track this situation. We'll bring you the latest later on this evening.
Well, coming up here, shock in the UK. Former Prince Andrew is arrested as newly released Epstein files put his past back under the microscope.
We're dedicated to making it the best it can be, finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer, because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive Weather Impact Team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive News.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with 11Alive and 11Alive Plus.
When the big story hits Atlanta,
A major water main break has left people with low water flow.
it's on 11Alive Plus. Watch the 24/7 stream to see what's going on, live as it happens.
Right now, the former Prince Andrew leaving a British police station after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office, after documents revealed his ties with Jeffrey Epstein. This arrest, it comes a day after lawmakers questioned a billionaire mogul on his ties to Epstein. NBC's Julie Circuit has more.
Police in Great Britain have arrested Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former prince, on suspicion of misconduct in public office, after revelations of his ties with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The charge carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. After the arrest, King Charles, in a statement, said the law must take its course. For years, the late Virginia Roberts Giuffre publicly accused the former royal of sexually abusing her when she was just 17. Accusations he denies. Today, her family responding to the arrest.
A piece of justice that Virginia has been fighting for this entire time, and I think we're just so proud.
It comes after the Department of Justice released millions of pages on the Epstein investigation. Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee deposed billionaire Les Wexner. Epstein managed his money for a decade, and the FBI referred to him as a possible co-conspirator. The 88-year-old adamantly denied knowing anything about Epstein's crimes and has not been charged. He claimed Epstein conned him and stole his money.
He has basically alleged that he saw no evil, heard no evil, despite being in the room with Jeffrey Epstein over and over and over. And it's really just not credible.
He's a competent witness. He's just not telling the truth.
Wexner isn't the only high-powered American named in the Epstein files. Thomas Pritzker, former Hyatt Hotel chairman, stepped down. Kathy Rumler, a former Obama White House counsel and top Goldman Sachs official, resigned. Casey Wasserman is selling his talent agency, but resisting calls to step down as head of LA Olympics 28. None of these people have been charged with any crime and deny doing anything illegal. For decades, Epstein survivors have said his close ties with powerful people have allowed him and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell to abuse young women.
I think if you follow the money, you follow their position, you're going to start uncovering some really hard, dark truths.
In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
President Trump just wrapping up his speech here in Georgia, from the economy to the FBI raid of Fulton County's election hub. We've got the highlights. And remember, we are streaming during the day on 11Alive Plus. You can download the app for free to your smart TV.
See what's going on live as it happens. Local news when you want it. Weather impact alerts, we got you covered.
I want you to be aware of really cold air.
From wait what moments to oh no emergencies. Search 11Alive on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. Stream free on 11Alive Plus.
We love Atlanta.
I love the activity, the life, the parks, the nightlife, the people. It's home.
That's why we're dedicated to making it the best it can be. Finding solutions that affect us all. Solutions that help us not just survive, but thrive. Solutions that help make our daily commutes easier and communities safer. Because we believe in Atlanta and its bright future. See solutions to make your life better on 11Alive News.
We know how much weather impacts your life, but some days are worse than others. 11Alive weather impact alerts get you ready for all of it.
Very heavy rain out there right now.
When weather threatens to mess up your plans or even threatens your safety, 11Alive News will immediately issue a weather impact alert, warning you about what's coming, the impact, and how you need to prepare.
As folks are making their plans, you need to know this, folks.
Weather impacts all of us. Stay ahead of Metro Atlanta's changing conditions with the 11Alive weather impact team on 11Alive News and 11Alive.
The 11Alive Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We have a flood watch that's in effect.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 11Alive Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more. When news breaks, watch 11Alive Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 11Alive Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Atlanta, we see you grinding it out every day to keep your family safe, your bills paid, and your community strong. At 11Alive News, we get it, and we're here to help.
These are the Atlanta zip codes with the highest car insurance rates.
Reporting on real issues.
We uncovered millions of dollars in unused rental assistance.
Sharing real solutions.
After our investigation aired, GDOT took action to make Georgia roads safer.
For solutions that make your life better, watch 11Alive.
We're going to keep on winning. The people of Georgia want to win.